I forgot about the iguana. Hang on.
So,
Do you want
Iguan.
an iguana?
it's no big deal.
Do you
You do
wanna-
you, man.
I forget how to get rid of this thing every time. Son of a...
Also, your fan's still on.
Oh. Listen. We're live. What's up, everybody? Don't peek at the producer behind the curtain.
Are we live?
Yes.
Allegedly?
Allegedly. I mean, YouTube says we're live. We're probably
What's
still
going
in
on?
delay. But
What's going on, Internet? Hopefully you didn't have to watch a commercial to see us, but I guess for the YouTube premium people and...
Your fan's still on.
Oh, we
right.
are
Right
live.
on
Wow,
the
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So anyways, I was ready to leave. Judd? What is going on, Internet? Who is this? Man, I am not pronouncing that name, but you got first. I have no chance in the world at getting that one. The Dan Hammer, you do not count for third. Sailor George is technically second. And then Styx is third. Abdi Ali is in the house. DFresh 909. Is 909 an area code? I feel like.
Probably.
Brian Miner, Christy C. Mom is here. Mom also became a second responder. Welcome. The Dan Hammer is indeed here to go ahead and moderate for us. Thank you. The Greatest G. Zeus, who I will allow despite my monotheism. Chris Kaufman. Let's see. Kai is here. Bill is already here talking trash. John Actual.
909 is the area code in California. One of them.
God. God bless you.
No.
Thoughts and prayers.
God left a long time ago.
Producer Juan. Jeff Olson, welcome. I do like that Notorious Emu started off with first gloves. That's pretty magical. Officer Nathan is here.
I was forgetting about the special emojis.
These are pretty cool. Anyways, is that Pouty Am? Or is that my dyslexia? Pouty, right?
Pouty
yeah,
am.
but with a D. Pouty.
Anyways,
Howdy.
this is the
like
Tuesday
Howdy
stream.
Man.
Pouty, Hartner.
Pouty Hartmer. David, what's going on? This is our Tuesday stream. We do kind of an interesting collection of things that aren't just body cam specific. Currently today, we're going to be talking about the Karen Reed trial for a little bit, and then we'll hop around to some other clips that we were given by our incredibly cool and incredibly mega-based Discord group. If you'd like to join that Discord group, you can do so either through a membership here on YouTube or as a Patreon member for the more technically inclined. It is as low as $1 a month, and then I think more tiers give you super cool access to stuff like merch. Mm-hmm. There's like some in the upper right-hand corner
I would love to show
here.
you some, but the USPS decided to send it from DFW back to LA for some reason, even though it's coming from Minnesota, so it's sitting in a place somewhere, and I'm mad.
So anyways, the really, really cool thing about... whoa, my stream is like way behind. There
Hey,
it is.
Josh, I want you to
Yes.
read Brian Miner's comment to Sam.
I grew up in Rancho... Is that Chucamonga?
Yes, that is correct. That is exactly
Pretty
what
good.
that is.
Pretty good.
Cucamonga?
Made me proud.
Mongo. Yep.
Cucamonga? That sounds a little sussy. That's a little sussy.
I just wanted to hear you pronounce it. You did pretty well.
I added an H there for a second.
Yeah, well.
I did poop before stream. You're welcome. I exercised and pooped, and I've been drinking. I splurged this week and got some Topo Chico with lime, and it's been a vibe.
DFresh, I will send you the link to get into the Discord, since it didn't automatically add you.
So anyways, like I said, Tuesday is designed...
Send me a message on the Disc or on the Patreon so I know which one you are, because we had a lot of people join.
We did. Anyways, I want to thank also the 12,800 subscribers that we have. We are still continuing to grow. We have some plans. We did a lot of filming this past weekend. There's going to be full episodes of Southland and full episodes of SWAT. We also did get some more Rookie in the queue for you guys. So be looking forward to that stuff. Dad was there with us, which is pretty cool. Very top of the stack is Bill. He was my partner on patrol for a little while, especially towards the tail end of my police career. The very bottom
Now they're
based.
just partners in life.
Exactly. We're domestic partners. At the very, very bottom.
2024, okay? It's not that weird.
Yeah, it's our month.
Jeez.
Keith is at the very, very bottom. He is the senior of our group here. He does not get the senior citizen discount, but he does get respect for having considerably more law enforcement experience than most.
Hey,
and then
it's not our month. We were not in the ATF.
that's true.
Hey.
Bill,
Or
Bill
fire department.
or fire department.
Yeah, I'd still be a hero if I was smart and made that decision before I became a cop.
Producer Juan is the meat patty where I am the cheese. You can thank him and Boot Megan, who's probably getting promoted for doing all of the editing for all of the very controversial shorts that we have been producing. Anyways,
Tyrant.
I just texted her to get me coffee because I've used it
In true boot fashion.
in true boot fashion.
What do we call them now? Like Chenford? What do we call
Like
Juan
the-
and Boot Megan?
Oh yeah,
we'll just slam their names.
Juan
together.
again?
Wagon.
Wagon sounds incorrect.
I like Juan again.
Wanigan. I
That's
can
a good
remember
one,
Wanigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Darren
Wanigan.
Wanigan.
Juan again. I like
That's
it. It's fun to
Anyways,
say.
Dubs, what's going on? Joe Blow, what is going on? We do, I believe, have some classic police footage to go look at, and we have a classic cop to go help us look at it. So, but first,
Did you just call
we're
me
gonna talk.
old?
No, not you. Come on now. They're practically the same age. Megwan. I kind of like that one.
It's late. You know what? We'll start a poll. How about that?
You know
Megawana?
what? Yeah. How to say Megawan.
Megawana. That's illegal here.
Drop your
Megawana.
options in the chat right now, and I'll put it in here.
Megawana's pretty good, dog. So anyways, we're going to talk about a really interesting case that's currently in trial, or the trial phase, and that is the case of Karen Reed, spelt as Reed as opposed to normally the name with two E's. It's a really interesting case. In this specific instance, very, very high level, basically a now deceased police officer's girlfriend is being accused of his murder. However, there's a lot of sussy stuff that happened. We're going to concentrate on the investigation and the evidence that's been presented, and why this is the worst homicide I've ever seen investigated ever. But we'll go. Hit play.
The prosecutors showed to the jury may not be what it seems. This video appears to be flipped. The image of it, the defense says flipped on purpose. News Center 5's David Bienick live at the courthouse in Dedham to explain more. David.
Erica, this revelation came at the end of today's testimony here, and it
normally
caught
720p.
everyone off
Trash.
guard. Some jurors even looked at each other quizzically, and some may have wondered if they'd just been tricked. The video shows police pulling Karen Reed's SUV into the Canton Police Department garage after it was seized as evidence. The video appears to show the passenger side, including the passenger side taillight, which prosecutors say was damaged after Reed allegedly backed into John O'Keefe and killed him.
I testified that this is a accurate scene.
But under cross-examination, State Police Investigator Yuri Buhenik confirmed the video is actually inverted. It shows not the passenger side, but the driver's side of the SUV. At one point, it shows the driver getting out.
Not once did you mention that this video is actually completely inverted.
I did not know.
How did you discover that the image was inverted?
I saw the word police and thought I had dyslexia.
In the video, the word police
Damn.
appears backwards on another vehicle parked.
Is this accurate, Josh? Yes,
I feel victimized. Nope, nope, you just jumble stuff. You don't
Yeah, I was
see
gonna say
it
that's not what
backwards.
dyslexia does.
That's called schizophrenia. Sure.
That was a
Right
very
now.
I was pointed.
insensitive comment.
I don't feel seen.
But you did in
Well,
SWAT.
how could he see you? He's
I
like,
was
"That's
gonna say,
schizophrenia."
you were on Sunday, so you're
I
good.
was on Sunday.
You'll
Yeah.
get over it. It should
you're
still
right.
be lingering.
We got a very special episode, like the 90s. It's a 90s very special episode. SWAT.
Oh my god.
Parked in the garage, so does the number 4 on one of the garage's overhead
That's a P?
doors. Defense attorney Alan Jackson believes it was no accident.
The timestamp across the bottom is not inverted, which means
Sussy.
somebody had to put that on the inverted, the manipulated, the altered video on purpose.
Yeah.
Here is the video again
Manipulated.
after we have uninverted it. What is in fact the passenger side taillight is out of view, and there appears to be somebody standing near it.
Who's the guy in the watch cap, in the winter cap, back there by that right rear tail light the entire time by himself? That's Proctor.
Proctor is Trooper Michael Proctor, the lead investigator on the case. Now, the defense has said
Sussy.
that he is the one who broke the taillight as part of an effort, they say, to frame Karen Reed. I did reach out to the district attorney's office about that inverted video. They said they would not comment.
Of course they
I
wouldn't.
bet they wouldn't.
So
Losers.
the issue becomes, and this is where the evidentiary, we talk about chain of custody a lot on live streams. And the whole idea between chain of custody is that from the moment it's out in the universe to law enforcement finding it, all the way to it being presented in trial, we have to know who all interacted with it so that we can keep the legitimacy of this evidence for the charge. So that you don't have random sussy DWI officers pouring out and cracking open a bottle to have, empty open container for PC or the smell of alcohol coming out of the car. In this specific instance, if you're going to say that you took care and custody of this vehicle as evidence, right? And then you have video evidence of it. If you flipped it, you have to have disclosed that you flipped it. And I really wouldn't even do that because not only have you flipped it, you also had to have overlaid something on there so that the timestamp would be in the correct orientation. That by itself, I'm shocked didn't happen in Discovery where they're like, what the fuck is this? You should be able to throw out any digital form of evidence provided by that evidence room or that investigatory body because they've already demonstrated the inability to maintain chain of custody. What? I see all of y'all smirking. Hold on. Karen custody? Stupid.
That's what it sounded like you said.
Oh, is that really what I said?
Yes.
No, you
That's what
said
it sounded.
care in custody.
You said
I said
care. You
care.
just didn't separate care,
Care.
and the word and.
Care. Yeah,
That's the text.
instead
That's
of
the Texan in me. Yeah.
instead of and, you just
Care
used the
and
letter
custody.
and.
It's
Yeah,
especially
the
funny 'cause it's
apostrophe
Care
N.
in.
the Karen Reed trial, and you
Anyways.
cannot read.
Karen custody. I love it. That's gonna be a new meme. Karen custody.
Karen is in custody, correct?
She is.
No, she's on trial.
Well, that car was in Karen custody until the cops took it from her.
Until the cops took it. So one of the other things that kind of came out, and I don't know whether or not this next video will show. I don't think we're gonna watch a 16-minute video just on this. But the other issue I have is most of the pictures they took of that broken taillight were only in that Sally port. If you had a reason, you looked at that car and you're like, oh, she for sure hit this guy, and there's a broken taillight for me to prove it, why wouldn't you take pictures of that on scene? Why would you then proceed to drive this car all the way to the station and then take pictures of it? Like that
Also,
doesn't
if
make
there was fragments on the ground, you would want to take pictures of the car by the fragments.
where they were,
To
where
prove,
he,
yeah.
where he
Yeah.
was in, accordance to that. Because
Yep.
somebody could have easily just smashed it and threw it in the snow. Which
Exactly.
is actually what I think happened. But
Yeah.
the other real sussy part of this is, and really I don't think that this DA should have had anything to do, or this agency shouldn't have had anything to do with this investigation, is the house they were at where this officer was deceased was the house of another set of police officers that were and are related to the lead investigator for this case, which is kind of like, if this was done correctly, every single person anywhere near that saw him that night is going to be interviewed, and they're going to look for stuff like injuries. They're going to look like signs of a scuffle, any of that kind of stuff. Should have really been there, and it wasn't. And the fact that it wasn't showcases. I mean, this just on the pure case of doing a very poor job of actually documenting the crime scene. I can't imagine. Even if she did do it, they did such a bad job of documenting this that they're gonna have to kick it.
In a murder. They did
Yeah,
a
in a
bad job of
murder.
documentation.
So
in a
this
murder.
video, I believe, covers a lot of that because this is the forensic evidence portion of the trial. We're only going to watch 4 minutes because after that, it's just like them interviewing each other about it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Giving
watch it.
opinions, and
Trial.
that's what we're here for.
The defendant is this woman, Karen Reed. She is a professor and was the girlfriend of the case victim, a man who was a Boston police officer for 16 years, Officer John O'Keefe. Let's take a look back at how Monday's testimony went.
I found multiple pieces of red and clear taillight. Same location. Generally, it was in between the flagpole and the fire hydrant. The sneaker
Pause real
was
quick.
flush up against.
Pause real quick. Where the fuck's the car?
Right.
Wait, what? Hold on. I didn't notice this last time I looked at this. Where's the car in relation to this? And why isn't this picture closer?
Where was his body?
Also, like, where is the tire marks that should have been there?
Is
Oh,
that
They didn't take it right when they.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be tire marks there on the center left of the screen.
Now, we'll say this. If
Maybe.
they thought he wasn't DRT, right, like dead right there, maybe they extradited him out of the scene, right, to give him medical attention and allow medical professionals to call it.
But I thought when they showed up, she was like,
Yeah,
Older
trying to
one, right?
resuscitate him and all that kind of stuff. So, that's weird that he's not. I know it sounds kind of cruel, but it's a crime scene. You just do your thing, at least document it. At the very minimum, police would have shown up, and that's a big piece of red glass, right, from the taillight. You would have seen something, maybe on the body cam as they're approaching all of them. I'd be curious to see that body cam footage because I bet you also you will be able to see the taillight
probably.
as they're approaching and taking custody of the car and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, he was frozen?
It was
Yeah, he
upside
was
down.
DRT.
I think we had found one piece of taillight prior to the sneaker, and then after we found the sneaker, we found a few more additional pieces of taillight. The sneaker was completely buried. It wasn't until we started digging through the snow that we found the sneaker.
Was a clear piece of plastic found a few feet south of the black sneaker, which was found 3 feet south of the red piece of plastic. Did that happen?
I don't know the distance there. No, not without measuring it. But I wouldn't think it was that far of a distance. They were much closer than that.
Right. I mean, you say you don't know the distance, but you testified to what the distance was in that prior proceeding, did you not?
Objection.
And then, moving along, we have the red piece of plastic, 3 feet south, black sneaker, a few feet south, clear plastic, then finally, several feet south of that clear piece of plastic, was there a second piece of red plastic found? Several feet south.
No, again, I don't agree with your description of the distance, sir.
Really could have done without this music.
I was informed that this
Intense amount
vehicle
of
may
music.
have been involved in a hit and run, so I was requested to examine it for
Then how are
biological
we supposed to know that this is intense and dramatic?
material. I was
think it's just
informed
like
that the
20%
victim
too
had
loud.
scratches on his arm, as well as the fact that the car had been towed through a blizzard. I performed blood screening on the lower lying areas of the undercarriage, on each side of the tire flap, as well as the edge of the bumper and the exhaust pipe.
And what were the results of that testing that you performed there in the garage?
Those were negative. I observed the apparent glass on the rear bumper.
Are you able to tell from your examination of those fibers and of those clothing materials sort of what caused those tears and cuts?
No. As far as the sneakers, given their dark color, I did not see any visible red-brown stains on the black area of the sneakers, so I used an alternate light source to aid in visualizing any potential blood on those sneakers. With that alternate light source, I tested several stains on the sneakers, one of which screened positive for blood.
With respect to the other clothing items that you were talking about doing the
screening test and the confirmatory test for blood with respect to the gray sweatshirt, the orange T-shirt, and the jeans. What were the results of that screening test and that confirmatory test that you ran with regard to each of those?
The screening test and the confirmatory test were positive.
Did she say it was towed?
She did.
Yeah, they towed it, which is weird that
They
it got
towed it
towed and
to
then they
where?
drove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other part of it too is if you're hit by a car so hard that you lose your shoe, or like you're getting run over in the middle of it, you wouldn't have time for blood to accumulate on your shoe because you get hit by a car, you like lay over. Like this isn't rocket science. But if I'm in a fight and I'm getting hit and leaking, then I'll have blood on my shoe.
Yeah, but if you're getting hit hard enough to lose your shoe, like assuming they're tied, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna just be where the car was. You're
good.
likely several feet away.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I could see would be like if the wheel crushed
Like
your
caught it?
foot, and it's so hard that it like popped and started bleeding. But like, then okay, why is there no like crush injury on the foot?
Yeah, true.
So this would all be very apparent in the injuries that were sustained.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I thought were really, really strange
Clearly,
was
she punched through from inside the car through the light.
yeah, there it was. Yeah.
And hit him multiple times.
Something else is this is now 2024. You mean to tell me that a police officer's house doesn't have some sort of security system, ring camera, external cameras that couldn't be subpoenaed to showcase the times and when people left or came back and left and came back?
No, those were off. Don't be
Yeah.
silly.
I find those
already.
Yeah, very, very weird. And then the fact that again, I wonder if anything inside of that house was checked to see, hey, was there any blood inside the house? Was there any blood in the kitchen?
Does anyone else have injuries?
Yeah. Real weird.
Weird that we don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like something that you would have checked for when you got there.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just being silly.
Maybe.
Hey, quit.
Maybe we actually don't know what cops would do.
Yeah.
Pieces that you had sort of put together, what if anything you were able to do with regard to some of those pieces and the tail light housing, item 3-1?
From those items that we just saw, I was able to
Pause it
piece
real quick.
one.
So they're saying that she backed over him, right?
Yes.
And that's what broke the taillight?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that only 4 small pieces of plastic came off of a taillight that supposedly hit a body?
Well, you see, his arm was made up of a broke crowbar. And so when he blocked with his crowbar arm, yeah, it only smashed a little piece like this big.
Kind of broke a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, living in rural Michigan, I've hit 4 or 5 deer with, like, different cars. Yeah, well, a long time ago. Don't worry.
They look like deer in the dark. It's all good.
They look like deer. And I can tell you from hitting a 90-pound deer, there's a lot more damage than like a few broken pieces of a taillight.
I think I'm trying to think of the guy that he forgot to put his car in park and his car crushed him to death. Even he had to get pinned between a car and a concrete barrier, right?
Yeah.
But like, I bet you that hit still caused a decent amount of damage, right? With him being pinned or whatever. Just because it's a heavy car rolling fast enough that you can't get out of the way or whatever. Or with enough force down that you wouldn't be able to push the car back up off you. Yeah, it's weird. This whole thing is weird. Just because a lot of it should be easier to pin her at the location at the time that he died, not that they found her in the same place or that they were there the same day that they were there. Like, they should have a closer time of death. And then also, like, I know that there's a lot of phone calls. Like, she went home apparently, called him a bunch of times, was like, why the fuck isn't he home or answering his phone?
Yeah.
And came back to the offense location to find him there. I think it's weird that nobody else inside of the house knew that he was dead and in front of their house. It's kind of weird. Maybe it was a snowstorm. Maybe people don't go outside.
Well, remember those dudes froze to death outside of that guy's house in Kansas City, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So this is just the year of weird people dying in the snow, I guess.
Don't go up north in the winter.
Did Bill have a past career as a vehicular hitman? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he used to kill vehicles for money.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, at least Fleet Services would say that.
Fleet Services never saw me. Thank you very much.
Oh.
He was good at his job, Josh.
Never saw you either because we fixed the things that you ran over.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. It's nice to be handy. Anything else on this one?
I think there's just about 30 seconds or
A
so.
larger
Who's this
piece
girl?
With
Forensic person for the plastic.
many of those pieces all fit together into one piece that I then called piece one. There were some other pieces that also fit together among those question ones that I called pieces 2, piece 3, piece 4, and piece 5. Piece 1 was a physical match with item 3-1, the taillight.
If that's your best evidence that it fits the taillight that got broken, that's pretty trash.
Yeah, we broke the taillight, and guess what? The glass we broke off the taillight's currently there.
Match.
Yeah, it's just very strange. My thought here is that one of two things happened. Well, I guess three. One, she actually did it and just, I don't know, they did a just absolutely atrocious job of investigating. Two, he got hammered, fell asleep, and then I guess got mangled by the snowplow or whatever. Or three, he got beat to death inside that house. They drug him out there and then framed him.
No, listen, I never thought about the snowplow theory.
Yeah. If he just passed out, and
he was in the road.
Yeah, he's gonna die from exposure, but that's gonna give him a bunch of weird. I feel like when it wasn't like feet of snow, and even if it was like 13 to 16 inches of snow,
they usually don't
randomly.
They usually don't plow during the snow either.
Yeah, that's what would be the point.
Exactly.
And this guy would be like freshly.
Unless they know they're getting like several feet, then they kind of have to plow and plow and plow, so it doesn't. Because if it accumulates too much, you're kind of screwed. Yeah.
So, anyways, food for thought. This is either an exercise in very poor investigatory measures being applied
At best, it's very poor investigatory.
Yeah, I think that.
I think that's being generous. This seems malicious.
One, especially given the way it's being presented, what we're being able to see on the outside, which they're going to show us the best evidence possible. This is a televised hearing, right? So you're able to see everything. If they had a picture of it on scene, you would have seen the picture of it on scene, because that's a lot more damning than it being in a garage and had to have gotten towed because the tow truck guy could have broke it.
I also want to know, like, his relationship with people in the department as well as hers.
Yeah.
Like, this seems...
Apparently, like the house in which the officers that weren't investigated at all, that they're actually very good friends allegedly with the lead investigator, which is also suspicious.
It seems like quite a bit of conflict of interest. Conflict of interest.
So this is him reading his unprofessional.
You write after you talked about going through
text.
The quote client's phone.
No nudes so far.
No nudes so far, correct?
Correct.
A day of reckoning for Trooper Michael Proctor as his personal text messages about Karen Reed are revealed. Defense attorney Alan Jackson grilled Proctor about messages he sent to friends, family, and his supervisors.
Who's the client?
I was referring to Miss Reed, again, unprofessional language.
I'm asking for who you're referring to.
Miss
I know
Reed.
You've got an explanation.
Proctor apologized multiple times and told the jury his texts did not impact the investigation.
The rest of the unprofessional and regrettable comments are something I'm not proud of.
This is what Karen Reed had to say about Proctor's texts.
I'd like the state police to say something about the language they've heard.
It was the prosecution that first introduced the text
What did
to
he
the
say?
jury. Proctor did not read off any
I
message.
thought they were going to show us which ones he was going to read, but there was at least one where he texted "no nudes yet," about going through her phone.
That would
was the main
indicate
one
a
that they put.
cover-up.
I don't know
Throughout
what
the course
rest
of the
them are.
day,
I think
we-
he was calling her something client, which is what they
Oh,
believe.
he said no nudes.
Yeah, no nudes.
I thought he said news.
No,
No.
Nudes.
Nudes, yes.
Fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Christian
he's-
Halsey, thank you for the super chat.
He's referring to her as something that they're having to bleep out, which I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming it's probably bitch
something
client
disparaging.
or something you can't say on the news.
He had compelling evidence that Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Attorney David Yannetti also spoke about Proctor's messages, including one where Proctor says he hates Yannetti.
There's no benefit to him putting in writing to his bosses what exactly he was doing. So, I think that's of no consequence.
Yeah.
The lead investigator saying they hate the suspect.
Well, her lawyer.
Prior to the investigation. Prior to the murder is potentially how this went down.
I don't know.
He called her a
Anyways.
stupid idiot.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild, but it tells you there is a dramatic difference in between one agency and the next, or even within that same agency, one officer to the next. You do not
Dude,
get.
but this
to pick
isn't even
your
just.
officer.
This isn't even just one agency.
This is the state too.
This is because he was what, Boston City Police, and now you've got that agency plus the state, plus man, I don't know.
It's
This
pretty
is
bad. This is pretty bad, and I always try my best to sit there and try to give a empathetic eye to these types of stories, but they ain't too much I can pull out of that I'm like, well, it could be this or it could be that, but either way, he hates her lawyer.
Yeah, that's who he was talking about when he text.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
I mean, normally I would agree that
It's a defense
lawyers
attorney
are
or whatever, yeah.
usually scumbags, but bro.
Good.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll move on from that one. We'll go ahead and do. We'll save this one for after we get demonetized.
I already got us demonetized in like the first minute and a half.
That's true.
He did.
I dropped the F-bomb.
Telling you, OJ's prosecutors were better. You're probably right.
No, the jury got OJ off. They even admitted to it years later.
That's probably true. Like you, dude, that it wasn't he wasn't in Conan. That's somebody else. That was Kareem.
Yeah.
Different sport.
Let's go to something
hands
funny.
over a reverse card when the police officer asks for his identification card.
Billy Buttcrack from the Billy Buttcrack News Network. Okay.
Nice.
Your actual ID, sir. Oh. Let me see
Yes!
your ID, please.
That's hilarious.
Plan. If you want to help with the missing person report. What missing person report? I've been looking for this man. I've been looking all over for him. He goes by Beetle. Beetlejuice. Lester Breen is his real
Is this a
name.
pedestrian stop?
Okay.
Yeah.
This auditor hands over a reverse
I
card.
think it's just an auditor.
That's kind of incredible.
If all auditors were like this, I would prefer them.
So he is on the side of the road, but there is no sidewalk provided, so he can kind of walk where he pleases. Does not appear to be a place that's got a fence or anything like that. So, I mean,
If he's unlawfully asking for his identification, I'm all for the jokes.
yeah, I think it's a like a subject stop or like an investigatory stop. Like you don't necessarily have reasonable suspicion of a crime. You're just doing like a consent encounter here.
Bro.
If it's a consent encounter,
if
you're
I'm
gonna
not
eat it.
detained, you can get.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Is like, if he's indeed not detained, I mean, like, you can't be too salty about the ID provided in the Uno reverse card. I don't know. He would have at least got a solid chuckle out of me. Have I gone and done like consensual encounters like that? Yeah, but I typically start these off with "You're free to go. You're not detained." I've said that before, and people just walked off, and I'm like, "All right, cool." I was like, I was called because you were here. I'm here to see what's going on. You were not detained in any way, shape, or form. It really kind of takes the sales out of somebody that's wanting to audit. So they're like, okay, bye. And I'm like, okay, bye. Have a good day. And go back in my car and Clear that a 6. Person did not identify, did not have reasonable suspicion for detention. Done.
The one with the shot. Well, whatever. I was looking for the
Alice,
rifle
what's going
shotgun.
on?
Well, this might be it. All right, so this is the beginning of our vintage police videos for the night.
Oh.
Wrong.
This is the FBI.
Yeah. This is Shooting for Survival in the 1960s.
It was very good.
Shooting for survival.
I think we've seen this before, maybe. We'll see. Fast forward. Yeah, we've literally watched this whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I don't remember this. I will probably
Also,
remember
I
that
don't
one.
give a shit what the DOJ or the FBI has to say.
Okay.
Some good data that comes out of that, but it's not a lot.
Here we go.
Not
Police
anymore.
misconduct training then. Miami-Dade PD.
Okay.
Miami-Dade was probably subject matter experts at dealing with misconduct.
They should show the boys in Boston this.
Kidding.
Requested your unit
Coleman, you have a
to
problem.
accident scene. Take command of rescue and clearing problem. QSL 860. Redford crane and other emergency vehicles are en route.
A significant part of a police officer's job involves making decisions that affect other people's lives. Generally speaking, the difficulty of decision-making is inversely proportional to the degree that it affects the person involved in the process. It's as simple as this. The more that the decision will affect you personally, the tougher it is to make. The following incidents are designed to bring the patrolman face-to-face, not with textbook situations and solutions, but rather with job-related situations he may experience and the alternatives he must explore. Patrolman, you have a problem.
I think it's about it, and I think you're going to have a problem with internal security.
Oh, yeah? What the hell's that all about?
Look, I heard it through the grapevine. They're supposed to call you in for conduct unbecoming a police officer.
You gotta be kidding me. You mean that punk had to register a complaint against me? What did he say?
I don't know, Brian. All I know is he's supposed to be the son of some big shot.
Yeah,
Hey, I didn't do nothing of that dirtbag. Ask Jones, he was riding with me that night.
Look, man, I'm not involved. My hands are out of this. I don't want to ask anybody anything. I just wanted to let you know in case something came up, okay?
Sure, Sarge.
The caps crack me up.
Sarge is kind of
Hey, Brian,
yoked.
do me a favor. Keep your nose clean, would you?
Hey, no problem, Sarge. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, stop doing coke.
Yeah, stop doing coke and stop fraternizing with the
Especially in
population.
Miami-Dade.
No kidding.
What the hell's eating you?
I'm getting fed up with this chicken.
Yes.
Sergeant just called me in about the punk we stopped last
Looks
week.
like Narcos
You
did.
remember the hippie that I had
Yeah.
to straighten out? Bastard claims I hassle him or some shit like that.
Hey, Jack, you did come down pretty hard on that kid.
Come on, Jones. The puke deserved it. I should have put him in jail that night. Yeah, you're only gonna push this cop too far.
This is me and Josh riding too, man.
Kind of shit. Anyhow, they may call you in a bag of my statement. We'll stop and have some coffee and get a story straight, okay, pal?
Patrolman, you have a problem.
Whoa.
All right. I don't believe that guy.
Look at that guy. That's the people putting high beams on.
Pull it over to the right. Pull it over.
Yelling at him on the PA.
Pull it over to the right, now.
Are you in pursuit?
At this point, yes.
Oh no, he put his turn signal on. He must be pulling over.
Oh, man, this is too...
Oh, you gonna run?
Hold it right there. You got a driver's license.
What'd I do wrong, officer?
What did you do wrong? You damn near hit the police car. You busted a stop sign. Now let's go. Some license.
I don't have my license with me. I left my wallet with my ID and license.
Ticket.
Let's go. You're under arrest. Hands on the car.
Hey, what are you gonna do, man?
I'm gonna tow your truck away and put you in jail. That's what I'm gonna do.
Just give me a ticket and I'll see you in court.
Oh, no way, creep. You may beat the rap, creep. but you ain't gonna beat the ride.
Hey, man, it hurts. I bet your mother's proud of you.
Oh,
There we go.
what an absolute
There it
diss.
is.
Your mother's
I
proud of
knew
you.
Keith was in this video.
What the hell do you hit me for, man? What kind
Man, you didn't have to hit me, man. I didn't do nothing. This cop just hit me and knocked me down after he handcuffed me. I want to see a doctor, and I want something done about it. Sergeant, man, I'm stopped for traffic. He punched me in the mouth. You can ask Jones. He saw it all. He's also charged.
What the hell is he trying to do to me?
Put Jones right there.
First he wants me to back him about the kid last week. Now this. What will the other guys think?
Patrolman, you have a problem.
You have a problem.
Discussion. Oh, we're supposed to discuss.
Yeah. In the day and age of body cams, does this not happen? Or it does happen. It just gets very well documented. Yeah,
we have a stream dedicated to watching this happen,
That's
but
fair.
it shouldn't. It doesn't happen where you don't see it typically.
Yes.
I bet we'll see it on Thursday.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll see it on Thursday, and then
Probably.
it's up to higher ups to do something about it. Admin, you have a problem.
There, my hamster caught up. Like in Juan. Bro, Juan's married for like 5 minutes and he's already onto these dad jokes, dog. Does police misconduct happen? Oh yeah, like we just talked about police misconduct. I bet you this was a bigger problem pre-recording anything. This is no cell phones. This is your word against mine. I 100% believe that this happened. I think it's oftentimes a lot because a lot of people will say, "Well, you're trained to do this." I don't think it's a training thing. I think it's a culture thing. When you come out, and it's interesting now because we look at body cams now, and like I know officers that were really good at the job. I know a lot of people that have suffered for this job, and I've had to go to police funerals before, right? And collectively, all of that human suffering to try to do the job the right way makes me very angry when I see people do it the wrong way or when they abuse their power. I don't even like seeing bad investigations. I don't like seeing resisting just for the sake of throwing a charge on there and taking someone to jail. We talk about this a lot, but I think that it occurs in places where it's allowed to occur. And you have a culture that sidesteps stuff like that and sees you as above the oath that you took. And I think that's more along the lines of why this stuff starts to happen. Will I say it's reasonable? Yes. I think your average person, given the authority police officers are given no accountability, will resort to this. There's a really good study
Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yep. It's Zimbardo. I don't remember what his first name is. Vincent?
So, yeah.
Vincent, something like that.
Anyways, Vincent Lombardo?
Yes, but there was a really, really cool. They did it to just a bunch of college kids, and they kind of gave them authority like this, and it took like less than a week. And even then, even he himself got taken in by the thing because he's like, I'm just not going to give him any accountability. He had to be stopped by like the reporting lady. It was like a study aide. It's like, this is terrible. Shout out to, I also want to point out that it was a woman. And technically whistle blew that, hey, this has gotten way out of hand. What the hell's wrong with y'all?
Now, I will say, so as someone with a psychology degree, I did learn that there was a lot of problems with that study on top of that, where there was some researcher meddling that made some of that stuff a lot worse. A similar study that kind of looks at this in the sense of like causing human suffering if you're given authority to do so is one where they basically gave people, they had somebody supposedly in a room where they couldn't see them, and they had a button, and you could push the button and it would shock them. And then they had a researcher in a lab coat that was essentially supposed to be like they were playing a researcher, and they were essentially telling you like, yeah, no, it's okay, you can push it again. You can push it again. And every time, like, the screams would get louder and the suffering would get worse on the other side of this door. And people, as long as they had the permission of an authority figure, would just keep pushing that button. Like, very, very few people would be like, this is getting too much for me. Like, we need to stop. Clearly, this is hurting the other person. They would basically be like, well, this guy says it's okay, so it's okay. And that adds credence to your culture thing, where it's like, once you have a culture of a certain type of behavior, it is very easy to justify that behavior in your own mind and just continue to perpetuate it.
I think what's also worse about this, and Bill and I actually got to experience this firsthand, is if complaints are brought up, and nothing's done about the complaint, it makes all of your other officers, even if they're good officers, very apathetic. You would see misconduct and just be like, well, it's that person. Like I have seen that firsthand, where even if it's not as egregious as punching a handcuffed suspect that hasn't done anything, it's just bad arrest.
We dealt with bad arrests like weekly.
Yep.
And nothing happened.
Fail to act on stuff,
least
trying to
get
get to people. The charges would get kicked. Again,
Sometimes.
you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride.
Yeah.
But they didn't always get kicked, even if they were bullshit charges. Like maybe they did eventually in court when this fucking idiot that they gave a badge had to show up to court, and then everyone saw how incompetent he is. But like that doesn't change the fact that people went to jail for no reason.
Yep. So that's kind of my issue. Like it's more complicated than probably what this video is going to kind of cover, but you'd be shocked at and the easiest example I'll give is most office spaces. Like most offices where you're working in a regular desk job has this level of toxicity or abuse of power. The difference is when you're a police officer, we're allowed to hurt people
and take their rights away.
Yeah. So it's way worse than, not being approved for leave or being asked to do stuff that's not within the scope of your work. This is, I'm ruining the rest of your life potentially. So it matters. It matters.
Yeah, and the recourse is not great. At least if
Oh.
if your job you can quit, you might not make any money for a while, but like if they
You
beat
can
to
leave
death-
there. It's a little different. Yeah, it's a.
They'll beat you
But
to
anyway.
death and leave you in the snow. You don't really have much recourse. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh my god.
Just office politics, man.
Pretty good. I ain't feeling too good lately. What's the matter, old age got you? Yeah.
The uniform looks good. And the weight of the gear hanging at this guy's waist tells him he's finally made it. A cop. A rookie. Cop. But nevertheless, a police officer. Ready to begin his first tour of duty.
Bro, could you imagine going out in a white shirt for patrol? That would get filthy so fast.
Yeah. There's a couple of departments that do that, and I was not a fan.
Where's the guy supposed to drive with?
Imagine the sweat stains.
Oh, yeah. You're
It'd be
basically
horrible.
see-through. In Texas,
Yeah.
you'd be see-through like 5 minutes in.
Well,
that's Florida.
Luckily
Okay,
for
kid,
us,
let's go. I'll drive.
we'd be wearing a vest, so that's all you would see.
You just see like this white hair rolling.
The white shirt and our blue vest just shining through. Maybe they wore a white vest.
Okay, let's go.
His
Everything's
hair
all right.
is looking pretty sweaty already.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say, this freaking Miami humidity would be dying.
He's gonna have to wear nipple covers.
The chafe is real, son.
Nice. Did y'all smoke cigarettes on duty?
Up to
We're
27th
supposed to,
Street here.
but people did.
You got
That's
the
stuff.
solid. And from 54th Street, you start the Spicks. All the way on down till you get to about 62nd Street, and then it's just all downhill from there. Man, you're gonna love it. You're gonna really love it.
He sure explains things differently than they
Why
did
is
in
Zolo
recruit
Hobo
school.
asking questions
had
and knows
enough
the
yet?
answer to?
Thank you for the super chat.
You ain't talking very much, partner.
Yeah, thanks for your money.
Yeah, you can keep
Look around
asking
you,
them as
partner.
long as they come with $10.
We're all
You
a
know the
kite
answer.
This is money country.
I would, yes.
What do you say, partner? Let's go have some coffee, huh?
Oh, I called him partner, not rookie.
Well, I guess he's a full-fledged officer, right?
You know, a
It's
lot
not
of what
his
they
first
told you in
day.
the academy, it just ain't so out here. That ain't the way we do it.
1638.
You can take it from me, kid. You can forget it.
It looks like he's about to tell him that he could make him a star.
Wow.
Yeah. That's definitely going to be a toxic work environment at a department like that.
According to
Exactly, it's
Steve,
getting me.
about half the stuff we learned in school doesn't apply on the street.
It's a good stash, though.
Damn it. Some of the things Steve said just don't sound right. I wonder who is right.
You have a problem.
You have a problem.
I love it.
That does make me really happy.
Oh, time for discussion.
I'm gonna have to add that to our soundboard.
Trollman, you have a problem. So, though I think I would give it like 40% of what you learn in academy has very little application on the street. I'd give it 40%. It's not 50, but there's a lot of things that would be considered acceptable in a cat, especially nowadays, that would be considered acceptable that are not going to be acceptable on the street. Ignorance of GOs, ignorance of procedure and policy, poor orientation skills, poor radio traffic.
Well, you say that, but
I learned that while filming our Officers React. this
Yeah.
weekend.
Do it in Keith's voice.
There was a lot of radio traffic shit this week.
There was for filming. But I think it's more. I think it's more of a like an attitude thing, or like adjusting to the authority that you have. We had a really cool conversation with Keith talking about people that washed out of academy, or not academy, but field training.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of them, like, it just wasn't for them, and that's a hard like reality to get to, and probably a hard time to learn. Like, you just subjected yourself to getting OC'd and tased and whatever. But yeah. I guess that's a sad way to find out that it's not for you, but this guy just being lazy and reading the paper and drinking some coffee on patrol seems kind of shitty. You're not really learning much while he's doing that, but
you had one of those PTOs.
I did indeed. One of my PTOs was like that. It was not great. That was the longest week of my life. Officer John Nolan, whoever did this, I guarantee it's blank. Is it consistent inner monologue? Do you second guess yourself? Yeah, 100%. You second guess yourself till like 2 years in, and then you just second guess yourself less.
Yeah.
After that.
Or you just start ignoring it.
Yeah.
Still there, and you just don't listen.
Yeah. Now it's tinnitus, and then the other voice inside my head.
No more rookie reacts. We've moved on.
I'll put that out in the universe.
We're done with it. No, I have one that is, I just have to add animations and stuff, but I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I'm going out of town. I'm skipping town.
Skipping town.
Yeah, because I did some stuff in Boston I can't talk about. And so I gotta...
Broke a tail light.
Broke a tail light.
Some cops told me they'll give me $20 to break a tail light. And I was like, all right. And now I have a problem, patrol man. So...
You have a problem.
That's sexist.
So I'll be out of town until like next Thursday. So
I do like
I'll get
that,
y'all rookie reacts then.
Yeah, I do like that this is this video was made probably the exact same way that like the military videos were made, because they're meant for people with just maybe a high school education, like maybe.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like a small town high school education.
Why are you talking about Keith like that?
No, Keith was squared away, okay? He breezed through high school, right?
I breezed through. Yes, sir.
There it is. See? Keith was the one ruining the bell curve for kids. Like, Keith failed kids because he ruined the bell curve for grading. Yeah. $20, uncontextualized. $20 is $20.
Yikes.
Producer, you have a problem. Shout out to
He left off the world famous part.
I did. I forgot it when I was reading it. I saw it and then I saw this and I forgot
Let's get that Mustang just barreled by.
Oh, we don't chase punk kids. That's the way you get hurt.
Get it
it.
for
That's
what?
literally the scene from Tokyo Drift, where they're just like, don't chase fast cars.
Yeah.
I didn't chase bikes very often.
That's because you're not in Brazil.
True. You know, he's not wrong, though, probably in the 70s. Getting in a car wreck was way more dangerous than it is now.
Okay.
Not calling it in.
That's dusty.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's ID. I thought he was taking a bribe.
He might.
Still might, I guess.
He's gonna come back. I got lunch money.
Got lunch covered.
There it is. Baby got hundreds.
Damn, back then? Balling.
Hey, kid.
Yeah. Half of this is yours.
20 bucks is 20 bucks!
No.
Emu's seen this video before.
You keep it. No, you can take it or leave it. No, you go ahead and keep it.
Okay.
Keep it, yeah.
Man.
Hey, Sarge, you got a minute?
Hey, how's it going, big kid?
Those whole shifts sucks, dog.
But, I'd like to talk to you
The whole
about
department.
something that went on out there today.
Go ahead.
Well, it's about my partner. We stopped this speeder, and he got out to write the ticket. And he acted like he was writing a ticket, and I thought he was writing a ticket. But when he got back to the car, he didn't have no ticket. He offered me a $10 bill. He had two $10 bills, and he said, half of this is yours, kid, if you want it. Now listen, Sarge, I don't want to get involved in any of that stuff. I'm on probation. I didn't hang this badge and be a crook. If I wanted to steal, I'd have been a thief.
Come here, kid. Let me explain something to you.
Amen.
Come closer.
You're becoming a real pain in my ass. You got a stand-up partner that's got more time working in the rain than you have on the job. He's got a sick wife and 4 kids, and he wants to make a buck now and then, and you're going to turn him in, right? If I hear any more garbage about you, I'm going to have you walking a beat in Pigtown. Do I make myself clear?
Pigtown.
Miss Coleman, you have a problem.
Problem.
Yerp.
Mm-hmm. Zeus said it's unethical, but I would definitely take the $20.
Huh.
Bro, it's the $20 in the 70s too. That's a lot of money. Like that's a nice.
Said
That's
it was
a nice
like
dinner.
$200 in 1968. I don't know if he went and did the math, but I'm gonna trust him on it.
A lot
it's
of
like
money.
it's like a week's worth of groceries back then. You know.
That's a lot of money. That'll barely get you in and out now, but.
Yeah.
Damn, what are you eating in In-N-Out?
Nothing.
You got the fries
for
along
two
with it.
for 2 people.
Oh.
I'm always not paying for just myself. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm taking along too.
True.
Yeah.
Pigtown, Florida, real place.
That is why you have that many bad cops on one shift, right there. It's cultural.
Pigtown, Florida.
Oh, Christian Halsey. Thank you for your super chat.
I don't think there's an actual pig town. I think it's probably a district, like a district that they have to cover. And that's like they nicknamed it.
There's apparently a Pigtown, some other state, but Pigtown, what was it? Baltimore. It's a neighborhood in Baltimore. Anyway.
We'll keep going. So you go to LT? LT's gonna get a
For a
break.
roll call, I want to draw your attention to this new order up here on gratuities. And we consider free meals gratuities.
That's what it is.
Look at this. No more goddamn free lunches. Starting the same bullshit again. You can't even get a coffee around this place.
Well, maybe you'll lose some of that gut of yours.
Gee,
Christ.
From
Imagine calling
coffee?
that guy fat.
You hear that, rookie?
Yeah.
Dude looks malnourished.
Get him reading it. Look at that. That's a good rookie right there.
Hey, O'Neill. What are you trying to do? Sell the records for writing tickets or just make everybody in the shift look bad?
Look, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, keep that shit up and they'll expect us to write that many more tickets, man.
If I see him, I write them. Besides, I give about 5 warnings for everyone I do right.
The bad
I
guys.
should get 5 warnings for everyone you do right. Okay, Dick Tracy, keep that stuff up.
Because it was 1970.
He said, all right, Dick Tracy. Because you're making everybody else look bad. Not a him problem.
I'm hungry. Let's eat.
What's your pleasure, boys?
Hi, Ruby. What's the special tonight?
Beef stew.
Beef stew? That sound good to you?
Beef stew.
Two beef stew.
Okay.
As hot
Two
as it
beef
is
stew,
down there?
boys.
That's what I was thinking.
Hell no. Some with a
Let's go. We've been
milkshake.
here 2 hours already.
Yeah.
Okay. How much
2-hour
do
lunch.
we owe? Nothing. We don't get a check. Just leave her a good tip.
Maybe they
that's
hired
all.
like
We got
Midwestern writers for this.
just a tip.
Maybe.
Okay.
Patrolman, you have a problem.
Have a problem.
You do have a problem.
I had officers, will not name names, but an entire shift worth of officers that we weren't allowed to have like more. Was it more than 4? Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
4. Yeah.
More than 4 officers at a single location at a single time, especially just like marked out eating lunch. And for us, it was for coverage or whatever it was, but they weren't allowed to do it. So in protest, not only did they all congregate in the same place, they did it out of city.
Yep.
I had to work a call almost by myself. I had a pretty hard, like gnarly foot chase. It got kind of sketchy. Like I was one of the only officers to show up to back up a sergeant in a foot chase, and I was like,
So-
oh.
This will make you feel better. We also did that on Southside, like several nights a week. And you would think that it would be a problem, right? Except I was going to lunch with 2 or 3 of my supervisors.
Wow.
Plus 4 of my shift mates.
That's pretty chill.
Out of city.
Yeah, we weren't that cool. They were also super far, and it like was like a cascading effect of issues. Like it just happened to be on the opposite side of where the call went out.
Yeah.
And so I beat everyone there by like 10 minutes.
Well, we went to
the
Mansfield.
10:34 call. Yeah, which
So,
wasn't too
like,
far. Yeah.
Not too far unless you needed to be at 20.
Oh, that would have taken a
Southside
second.
still had 20.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, don't don't do that kind of stuff. It happens, but like, don't be that guy.
So I know when I worked at Chick-fil-A, we were supposed to give cops, firefighters, and like Army veterans 50% off. But the cops came in uniform. But it's because our owner used to be also be a cop.
So Chick-fil-A never let us pay.
Yeah.
Like legit would not take our money, would not allow us to, like the manager would come over and she swiped her little card thing and there would always be 0 on the screen and then you'd try and give her cash and she'd be like, I'm not taking that. Sorry.
That's pretty cool then. I always brought my lunch. I was above reproach.
Yeah, when I decided I wanted to be less fat, that's
Sounds
what
like
I
you're
did.
getting a free lunch from your wife.
Wow. Oh, I didn't pay for those groceries.
Hey, it
Labor isn't
takes
free.
time and energy to
That's
make it,
right.
okay?
That's right.
I guess you're right.
That's unpaid labor.
There you go.
I'm going to
tell
tell
her
her
to
you said
strike.
that.
Hey, EMS is on scene. What's up, PD?
What up,
Hey,
EMS? Problem.
Men, we've been assigned to handle traffic. The motorcade starts at 11. It'll
This
run
guy's
for about
not in
2
Florida.
hours. We get them in, they have their meeting, and we get them out. Brown, you take the intersection at 2nd Avenue and 12th Street. Warner, you take 2nd and 11th. Adrian,
They all go to the same
2nd
barber.
and 7th.
Jackson, take
I think
second
that's
and
like a
9.
uniform.
What
that thing.
in the universe is that?
I want one. Can we get one for skits? Little Pope mobile.
We'll spell police backwards.
Yes. It'll be inverted. You also have the steering wheel on the left. Not on the right.
Look at the mail truck in the background.
Yeah.
What is it, Sergeant? Jackson, go over to Northeast 2nd Avenue, 4th Street, and take care of traffic. But Sergeant Travis, my sergeant told me to stay here and handle traffic for the motorcade. Look, damn it, I don't care what anyone says. I want you at 2nd and 4th to handle traffic. But Sergeant Hanley told me to stay. Well, I'm telling you now to go. Patrolman, you have a problem.
That sergeant is not your direct supervisor. You hit him with one of these. And say, well, you can call my supervisor. Now, when your supervisor says the fuck you just do, then you have a problem. But then you have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't. This is pretty easy to sum up by just simply saying, "We'll just radio Sarge and tell him I'm not about to go disobey my direct supervisor for some other person." I had to tell Lieutenant to kick rocks one time. It was the one time I ever did it, but I was like, "Why don't you radio over to my sergeant? 'Cause I'm not supposed to leave." It wasn't something like this. It was a little bit more complicated, but I was like, no. Like, they're basically trying to make me stay on the side of town I'm not like supposed to be on. Like, I got sent to help with a call. My time was done. He's like, "You need to stay here," and I was like, "I was told to come right back." And he was like, "Why didn't you just stay here?" I was like, "Well, then you can radio them and tell them that I'm not telling them I'm gonna stay here to help with calls. They're drowning up there."
Was it Southside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lasted 3 minutes. It was like,
right.
And then I got a phone call on my cell, like, "Hey, get back in your car and come back to Northside."
Yeah.
I said, "Yes, sir." Problem.
Patrolman long career, Bill.
Campbell, I want to see you a minute. You want to see me, Sergeant? I hear you up the old tricks again. Hanging around after the shift, brown-nosing. But, Sergeant, look, I'm fed up with you. When you came on this shift, I told you what I expected of my men. But did you listen? No, you had to be a big shot. You've been on the department 6 months, and I've been stuck with you from the beginning. But, Sergeant, all you college punks are the same. Know it all. You want to change everything. Well, this is the last time I'm going to tell you. You better shape up, understand? I don't understand. I don't recall any negative feedback. So tell me specifically, what have I done wrong? If you really want to know, you'll never make a cop. But, Sergeant, that's just a value judgment. Obviously, what we have here is a personality conflict. Personality conflict, my ass. You think you're better than everybody else. Before I'm through with you, I'm going to show you. Patrolman, you have a problem.
Yeah, in general, if you're 6 months, even if this sergeant's completely out of line, you ain't gonna win that argument. In no universe, you're gonna win that. If Keith was having a bad day and he was just the senior officer on shift, and he tells me he's gonna work a call, he needs me to kick rocks and leave, I say, "Yes, sir. Bye." As long as it's not getting me in trouble, seniority is a thing, especially rank is a thing. That is not the place to go win that argument.
Nope. Gotta pin this one.
1141.
That's a good reference, Officer John Nolan.
1110.
What a failure to communicate.
Oh no. We in San Diego now?
Uh-oh.
This is that guy's granddad.
Oh, so Miami has had bad drivers forever, it looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just never learned to do it right. Seeing these old patrol cars has me wondering when the lack of like an inside door handle was implemented into patrol cars.
Yeah.
I wonder if this like had one and they just did like a child lock or something.
Yeah.
Or just nice enough to not try.
My first few, they had inside handles, but they had the child locks, and I don't remember when they just like covered them when they like put a panel over them and just covered the whole thing.
Good afternoon. May I see your driver's license, please?
So that was pretty recent.
Take it out of the wallet for me.
While you're at it.
What do you want to see my driver's license for?
I ran a stop sign about 7 blocks back there.
You gotta be kidding, officer.
I'm not kidding, sir. You ran one about 7 blocks back.
Look, officer, I've been driving a car before you were born, and I know what's right and wrong, and I didn't pass any stop sign. And furthermore, I never do anything illegal. I know a lot of men in the department here.
That
You
shirt's
want your
pretty
job
illegal.
taken away, you want that badge, you know what you can do with that. Now listen to me, officer. I'm in a hurry to get to the track. Give me back my license.
I noticed this is an out-of-state driver's license, Mr. Strauss. What do you do for a living?
You gotta be kidding, officer. Don't you notice California on that? What kind of a dummy are you? Look at me again. Don't you ever watch the Tube? Don't you ever watch motion pictures? You don't know who I am?
No, sir.
Furthermore, you better let me have that license back, or I'll have your badge. I happen to know your boss.
Well, you're not talking to him. You're talking to me now.
Oh, really? What are you, the head?
Sweep the leg.
What?
Well, if it isn't Marvin Makeout.
Hey, what's going on?
This creep tried to pick me up before.
Oh, he did he? Why, you're nothing but one of them guys on wheels who goes around trying to steal a guy's broad. How about that?
Mr. Strauss,
There's a creep here, but
I
it's
don't like
not
your
out.
attitude.
Well, screw you, buddy. I don't like your attitude.
Mr. Strauss, would you mind stepping out of the car and we'll talk about these attitudes?
But of course, officer, I'd be happy to get out of the car. Now, what was it you were saying about attitudes? I happen to be a professional actor. I can give you all sorts of attitudes. Let's say, first, obsequious. What would you like, officer? Would you like me to kiss you on your little badgy poo or something? Hey, and what about gallant? Why, of course, officer. I certainly ran that light in a
I don't even know what I'm watching anymore.
And what about demanding? A demanding attitude. I demand my
Watching
license
this guy's
back.
acting real.
Patrolman, you have a problem.
I know what the problem is on that. Just sweep the leg.
Exactly. There were no dash cams back then.
Bringing the cop from the first one that punched the guy to this traffic
bring
stop.
it to this traffic stop.
Agreed.
Clearly it's just a
One of those
wrong
guys
side of
we
town.
have people running stop signs and tries to steal their girls, aren't you? Nolan wouldn't know anything about that. Nolan is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yep. Nolan's definitely one of those guys on wheels.
That was, I don't know why that last one was even included, but
Yeah, that was a weird one. I'm not really sure what the ethical dilemma is there.
when to use force, I
It's
guess.
just some guy is being weird.
Well, if he reaches for him, that's an aggressive move. You have to restrain him.
Expeditiously?
Expeditiously.
Did he? Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Who cares?
Hey, what else we got?
Let's see.
He's got a gun. Yeah, go throw an acorn at that car.
Okay, we'll do calmest cop ever gives angriest motorist a ticket, 1992.
92. It was a baby.
What's the date on that? I'll have to plead guilty if I gotta work, because I can't afford to take the day off, you goddamn asshole.
See,
Now
that.
just give me the goddamn thing. Let me get out of here. I did do
Get
something
out of
wrong,
here.
and I know I did.
I remember
Now
this
let me
video.
get the fuck out of here. I ain't in no hurry, but I did want to get some kills for my dog. It's just about ready to get the fuck out of here. Give me that.
Can I explain it to you, sir, so you'll know what you need to do?
I know what I do. You're ripping me off, and I didn't deserve it because I didn't do nothing wrong. You're probably sitting on parking lot driving right back and forth to get someone in the 40 miles of whatever frig it is. I never saw the sign. I saw 55 and I was doing 57. That's all I know.
I've never seen this.
Now just give me the goddamn thing and I'll look at the date. If I'm working, I'll pay the fucking fine because I can't afford to take a day off. And if I'm not working, I'll plead not guilty because I know fucking well I'm not guilty. There. Now, are you a state or local? Looks like you're a state trooper. Get back and pick up some more guys and run up the friggin' deficit on the working man. Just give me the damn thing. Let me get out of here.
What I need you to do is sign the X so I can explain this to you.
There ain't no explaining. I got picked up for speeding before. You're guilty and you pay the fine and hope your insurance don't go up. And you try not to speed the
The
next
actor
time.
from the last video, yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to do for 4 or 5 years, and it's worked damn good till I run into you, you asshole.
I miss the 90s.
It was a different time.
Green copies for your record, sir.
I don't. All right.
White copy needs to be mailed in within 20
Okay,
minutes.
he's saying it's extra slow.
I can't read, and I put this stuff away. I get bills in the mail all the time. I
I'm
don't
here
need
for
to
the
look at
sass.
it. $7 glasses here. All right, just tell me what I do. Lincoln Court?
No.
Where?
Read the instructions here. This says you have 20 days to respond to this summons. Read the back of this hard
He's
copy.
going so
This will
slow
explain
now.
how you can have a trial
That's
if you want.
professional, but like
On the back, that'll explain it. Attaches
extra
an envelope.
savage. There's no reason.
Stamp on that, you mail that in.
I don't
They'll
mind
tell
the
you what to
stamp
do.
part. Well, I can afford the stamp.
The fine's right here, sir. It's $137.50.
You're fucking
Damn.
crazy!
In the 90s? Woof.
Fucking crazy! My wife took money out of her goddamn account where she's working to pay my fucking insurance so I wouldn't get picked up. You're fucking crazy!
If you don't pick this up, sir, I'm going to summon you for littering.
I'll pick the goddamn...
There it is.
Are
Petty.
you fucking crazy?
Mhm.
I wasn't even speeding, you goddamn
But true.
asshole! $100 and some dollars? Jesus fucking Christ!
There's some more right there.
I've never heard of a phone like that in my life, you goddamn asshole!
Stressing me out.
You fucking asshole!
I'd look for a good defense
Get the
attorney
fuck
on this
out of
one.
here, you goddamn miserable fucking... Jesus Christ! I don't mind. I feel bad for the guys out of work. I pay my goddamn state taxes. A good fucking bunch, too, let me tell you.
I'm giving you a warning on the failure to produce insurance. That's expired.
Didn't I give you another one?
No.
My wife told me it was expiring today. She went and paid her car share, and out of the grace
Expired
of
on
her
the 10th.
heart,
Today's the 16th. That's 6 days ago.
the bill
That's
was
350 in today's money.
whatever
Woo.
the date on the bill
Damn.
due, I
That's an
have
insurance
to pay
ticket.
Good thing you keep my insurance up to date. Damn.
Copy.
Do you want your license and registration?
Of course I do.
Take a speeding ticket any day. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, I can reduce the insurance. I probably got it here. Like I said, my wife, out of the grace of her heart, when I came home, that she had taken money out of her savings account because I'm fucking dead broke. Because the cost of living has gone up. My paycheck has gone down because we gave up double time on Sunday. Our
I
insurance
hope this
went up
guy's not
$20
alive
a week.
now if he's
2
complaining
weeks
about the
ago,
cost of living back
$20 a
then.
week.
Could you imagine the
And that's what
meltdown this
happened
guy
is-
had?
I'm sure his
Last
wife's been
18
promoted since
years
then.
To the whole fucking country.
She's
The
made
His
some
wife
money.
definitely left him after this.
Friggin' cut pay, insurance has gone up, but there is hope. And I'm going to watch it tonight when Bill Clinton gives his acceptance speech, because there is hope if we can get this economy going again and start treating people fair and get assholes like you to do something decent instead of picking up some fucking innocent guy that wasn't speeding to begin with.
Bye.
Wow. The Bill Clinton supporter, huh? Who would have
Serves
guessed?
you right for stopping people. Just living their
How
lives.
dare you? Fun side note. the economy did not get better.
It did.
It took a minute.
We had the .com bubble, and then it went.
Yeah, but that didn't help the working person. The .com bubble only really helped like investors and shit like that. It helped some people. The economy got better probably like the late 90s. Then we all know what happened.
9/11.
Yeah, and it didn't get better. Well, actually, we made a decent amount of money.
We've been doing a thing called the economic cycle, where it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and it goes like this. And now it's just like this, but
yeah, no, we'll get there. I'm hoping.
We broke it a little bit, but maybe
Yeah, I'm hoping beyond hope it's coming back.
I'm driving Uber.
I'm just glad I bought Nvidia stock, all 3 shares.
Dog, that's
not. Well, they're 3 shares now. They were 0.3 shares before.
There you go.
Now it's 3 whole shares, but it's like $300.
My passenger's getting arrested.
Hey, Bob, turn that off, okay?
No, I'll keep recording. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's my right.
Don't record me. You got me?
I will look. You're a police officer on duty. I can record you.
Turn it off. I'm taking jail.
What are you arresting me?
Take him to jail for what?
In case anything happens.
Yeah, roll canine this way, please.
Bring the canines. I don't care, man.
Okay.
I know my rights.
There you go. I hope so. I know what the law is.
I know the
Patrolman, you have a problem.
law.
Problem.
I'm an attorney,
Problem.
So I would hope I know the law.
And the Uber driver?
Yeah, you're fat.
I work at the courthouse.
What courtroom you work in? You work in 317?
317 or 200.
I've seen you there.
I've never heard of this law that you're not allowed to record the police anymore. It must be brand new.
Okay, well, they just recently passed it, so.
Well, here's
I
your
bet.
license. We're going to wait for K9 because I don't know if he might have dumped something under
I think
the
he
seat
might be
you don't
confusing the
want us to
law
look.
with
If you threw something
gas.
under the seat, it still has nothing to do with me.
How many agencies are here?
Smell something.
I don't know what he does.
Looks like county and
Shocker! All of a sudden, there's probable cause to search my car.
That was fun.
I don't like.
It's amazing that people hate cops. It really
Yeah.
is. So crazy.
I'm not a fan of extending the stop to get K9 there. I'm not a fan. If you can't smell it, it ain't there.
It looked like a good lawsuit to me.
Oh yeah, well he was also a lawyer, so definitely a good lawsuit.
You officer, you have
box
a
of
problem.
Dallas police uniforms and weapons collecting dust. Thank you for joining us. I'm Cynthia Isaguirre.
And I'm Chris Lawrence. A fire police officer says he still has all his gear 2 years later because the department will never ask for it back. Tonight he spoke with Bradley Blackburn.
What?
This is not a story about why a Dallas
Shout out
police
Dallas.
officer was fired.
This box is all.
It's about why 2 years later,
Every bit of it.
Josh Forner still has this. A giant tub filled with gear you don't want in the wrong hands.
Logos and badges.
Uniforms,
This is what you wear on patrol.
a radio,
The Charger's in
I'll
here
buy it
also.
off you.
even
Radio.
weapons.
It's serial number to me.
Can use it for skits.
56893 CM.
It's been gathering dust in his garage since March 2017,
Everybody wears.
when he was very publicly fired for a use of force incident.
You have everything that you need to be a police officer.
Forner served in DPD 10 years and says his termination was about department politics.
And they push me out of the door to make themselves look good.
He says they told him he was a liability.
I was
I'd like to see
a
that video.
potential, hazard, actual patrol uniform, patrol pants, raid jackets,
But until this week,
Dallas Police on Dallas Police radio cover with badge on it,
they never asked
gas mask, OC spray,
about all this.
vest, taser, handcuffs. They actually called me and asked me if I still had it. Duty belt, patrol rifle for Dallas Police.
What'd you say?
Yeah, this is
they're a
the
little bit behind on
When
their
an officer is
audits.
fired, there is supposed to be an immediate process to get their gear, a record on file of every weapon, every badge, even the exact number of shirts that have been issued. And the exit isn't complete until they check off that list.
I have not done a process whatsoever.
Forner plans to return it Saturday after finally being asked. He doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
But I waited on him to call because I thought, you know what? Somebody else needs to hear about this.
He says command should have known weapons and uniforms were
Why is it
gone for
in the
years.
story?
They're in a catastrophe situation. They don't.
I have a
Left hand
feeling
doesn't
this
know what right
guy
hand's doing.
Because a
did
different
something
person
that deserved
might not
to get
have let it
fired.
gather dust.
No, but I'm
In
just.
Dallas, I'm
that's my
Bradley
guess,
Blackburn.
but it's weird that
We did
like.
reach out to Dallas police.
Like,
for
what
a
kind of
statement
loser
about this.
calls the
Department
news
says
about
it-
this?
That's a weird.
This sounds like a bitter ex.
He's like, they're trying to take it away from me. Fired for using inappropriate force and turning off his camera before another officer arrived for backup. Yeah.
That'll probably do it.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Josh.
We're gonna look it up.
Forner.
Good job, Dallas. Hey, look, okay. Dallas is struggle busting. Look, that Rock River Arms, it's alright. I mean, that's about duty level gear. That's no better or worse than a Glock, let's be honest. Don't be hating on Rock River Arms.
I don't want to go home. Give me back my... Whatever. Fine, I won't read your news. Well, anyway, inappropriate force.
Yeah, there's normally a policy. Like, we had to do that when we left. We have to turn in some of the stuff that was issued to us, but they know how many nameplates they gave you. Like, they keep track of all that stuff. You're a government employee. Everything's tallied and marked and whatever.
He has a fireable face.
Wow. I do remember the only thing they didn't really ask back for that was issued was the penal code book because it was out of date. But like, yeah, like our Atlas or what was it? Not an Atlas.
Mapsco.
That
Mapsco. Yeah,
Yep.
Mapsco had to go back. All that dumb stuff had to go back.
I love my Mapsco.
Dude, I want to buy one for DFW just to have one.
You kids and your fancy GPS.
Hey, man, I had to use a map. They made us use
we used
Mapscos
it.
early. Yeah. I was glad that everybody that was part of our training made us do everything. Even when I went to rifle school, they made us remove our red dots to do it with iron sights. So, and there's stuff like that.
Old buddy lied on a police report.
Oh, did he?
And then gave inconsistent, which code word for lies, during the internal affairs investigation. So he was fired for cause.
That'll do it.
But
I don't do that.
Really, the news didn't want to bring that up in their little news story about his police gear.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
Hey, it was department politics, okay? They didn't like that.
That he
used
lied?
excessive force and lied.
Yeah.
Turned off his body camera when it should have stayed
Yikes.
on. Yeah. You know.
If it died, that'd be one thing.
Typical
but, no,
office
he couldn't do that.
politics.
Yeah.
Andrea live at DPD headquarters with the rest of the story at 10. Andrea?
Several sources tell CBS 11 that new recruit dropped off her equipment here and resigned on Monday, what would have been her very first day patrolling Dallas streets. But she is hardly the only one who
Wait, so you
has
can
quit
drop off
so
your equipment even if they don't call you for it? That's crazy.
Yeah, you sure can.
This is the first week.
I clicked completely everywhere except the pause button.
Wow. Jeez.
I had a stroke
What
there
would
for
have
a
been her very
second.
After 9 months in the Dallas Police Academy, 34 recruits graduated Friday, finally ready to hit Dallas streets. But by Monday, one had already resigned.
I'm not
Good.
I don't know if surprised is the right word. I'm certainly disappointed.
Deputy Chief of Personnel and Training Bill Humphrey recalls another recruit this year who left 2 days before graduation.
That she was going to work for Allen Police Department, the city of Allen.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That they had hired
This is a
her.
very common
City
problem
records
for
show at
DPD.
least 9 officers who graduated from the academy in the last year are no longer with the police department. 2 quit within 2 days of graduation, another
Because
after
your pay
just
sucks
6.
and you gamble with their
We're
pensions, that's
paying
why.
for them to be trained as well as
Pause it
paying
real
them a
quick.
salary while they're being trained.
I would love to see the numbers from APD.
I was about to say the same thing.
Because that amount of officers does not seem that high. And I just talked to one of our classmates who said patrol is so understaffed that they may be doing a mid-year shift and moving people sides of town.
No
and then
kidding.
Also
To cover.
making detectives work patrol 2 days a month. So
Good
you
on
can
them.
you can miss me with this 6 officers.
So that SWAT episode was reality. 2
Uh,
days a month
maybe.
to get to be a patrolman.
Full-time SWAT guys are not going to work calls.
SWAT man, you have a problem.
problem. Deborah, thank you for the allowance. But yeah, this was actually pretty common that people would go to a paid academy to get paid while getting there, because getting your certification's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, it's a lot of. I do kind of chuckle, especially on like the longer, like nowadays with how much training it does require to get just the minimum. You're looking at least 4 months, maybe, of full time, 40 hours a week worth of training just to get enough hours of training to qualify. And then you still have to take the test, you still have to pass the test and whatever to go be a peace officer in Texas. So it's about
Allen pays pretty well, don't they?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much everywhere
as good as
outside
Plano.
of Dallas pays pretty well.
Yep. Yeah. Plano pays pretty decently. I'm just surprised they don't just.
Is Plano still number 1 in Texas?
They are.
I think they are.
Like they start out at like 80 grand.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty good money.
Right, and then we're losing them.
The city of Dallas says it spends about $90,000 to put a single recruit through the academy. But there's nothing requiring those new officers to stay and work for Dallas police, rather than jumping ship to higher paying departments in the suburbs.
I've got a lot of residents in Dallas that are like, what? You know, we can't require this. Essentially, we are paying
Civil
for other
service.
municipalities' officers to get their TICO license.
Dallas Fire Chief David Coatney told council members today he's also losing recruits after the city spends $46,000 on each of them to go through the fire academy.
They start to see that the surrounding cities around us are paying between $10,000 and $20,000 more a year for the same profession. They're moving away from us after we've trained them.
Well, generally, some of those smaller departments require that their officers or firefighters be certified before they get hired on. Councilmember Jennifer Gates said she would like to see the city be able to recoup some of those certification costs if new recruits do leave quickly after graduation. Some Dallas police officers, though, argue that if the city paid them better, they wouldn't be so tempted to leave. Reporting live in Dallas, Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.
Also, if you didn't have a culture of shit-tastic policy and a bad DA's office, a lot of other stuff. Yeah, or gambling and losing people's retirement.
I think the losing everybody's retirement was probably a huge one.
I can't imagine. I just couldn't even wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
I remember the story dropped.
Yeah, not to mention like that time they just lost like a year's worth of evidence because it just got deleted off their servers. Shit like that. And it's like, well, cool, I did all this work and arrested all these people and you can't even prosecute them because
and I will say this.
Everything.
Policing Dallas versus policing Plano, wildly different tasks. Like, it's not even close. Just from a population standpoint, the diversity of the topography that you're having to go deal with, the size of it all, way more complicated. So I can at least appreciate that. So I'll give them a little bit of leniency, but they also like really screw the pooch on a lot of stuff. That's on Dallas.
Mm-hmm. It's on Dallas's terrible city government. Shout out.
Shout out, baby.
I think this is this the shotgun one they wanted you to watch? I don't even know which one this one is. That's too long.
Too long, skip it.
Here we go. Safety video.
Minute 30, let's go.
Shut your engine off.
Can't make me. Bro, this Corvette's legit.
What the fuck do you want?
Draw your
your driver's license. What for? Christ, I'm only a
His
block
hand's in his
from home.
pocket.
Why don't you let me go? Look, I just want to see your driver's license. Oh, Christ. I got it here somewhere.
Right next
It's
to
in
my
the
gun.
car, I'll get it.
Most people have drawn inner boundaries they don't
Don't let
want
him get back
crossed.
in.
And sometimes the blade is there to guard those boundaries.
Here's my license. Why don't you come and get it? Drop the knife. Fuck you. I said,
Shoot him.
Drop the knife.
Oh,
Hey.
my dog.
Sorry.
Hi there. See,
That's almost as unrealistic as the rookie.
Seen this? Is this
somewhere.
from Street Survival?
Something with your photo, name on
might
it, they'll be
be.
fine.
This is safety in the 80s, Keith. Oh, he got him in the
Oh
cheek.
no! Is this Surviving Edge Weapons?
This represents
Yes.
Yes, it is. That is it.
Away from here.
Yeah.
Get out of my house. Drop the razor. Drop it.
And what he's telling you is, don't invade my space or I'll attack you.
I'm out right there.
Dorney, open up.
Bro, domestics. Oh, gone.
Damn.
That's what you get for standing on the fatal funnel, idiot.
He stayed in the fight though.
At least he stayed in the fight.
Here. We're gonna talk.
Shut the
Get
fuck
out of
up.
here.
What?
On, you're really struggling with clicking today.
I didn't click that. It auto played.
I'm just saying.
Bro, I can't help it that everything that gets recommended as the next video is this idiot. Go away. Not interested. Don't recommend this channel. There we go.
Yeah, edge weapons are sketchy. But I don't know that I'm ever pulling out my baton and just decided to go fisticuffs with it. That's kind of metal, though. That first guy was in it to win it.
Kind of mental.
Kind of mental. All right, we're not going to watch all 40 minutes of this because 40 of those, or 30 of those minutes are just them chasing motorcycles. But this was pretty interesting. They do, the beginning of it, they kind of show you the like Brazilian police like training area and sort of how they do some of their
Yep, so that's me in a police car chase in the
combat
most
training and all that.
deadliest country on earth.
The most deadliest.
Most deadliest.
And with 45,000 deaths every year, Brazil has the most murders in the world, twice as much as the US.
4 out of every 10 people murdered are Brazilian youth.
And at a time where cops are
The youths.
demonizing the media around the world, we decided to spend 24 hours with a police unit here to understand. Why would anyone in their right mind want to be a cop here?
The victim was there with
What are the
Bro,
realities
benefits.
and what does it take to survive?
The worst part is, because we won't get to that part of it, but they talk about it, they make $1,200 a month.
And are these cops really making a
I think
difference?
that's actually
or
pretty
are
decent
they
out
part
there.
of the problem?
It's not. They literally say.
Or is
it's
it the
like, you know what it is?
equivalency?
They basically what they were saying is
No idea
Pause it
how
real
it's
quick.
gonna go,
technically a
but
military
one thing I
rank.
learned is that
For them, so it's like they're police, but it's like military police. It's like again national police. And
Yeah,
then
but
they,
then what's the difference between that and being a GI, basically?
well, they
yeah.
do patrol stuff, but it's essentially
but-
really they're more like they're sort of a mix between like SWAT and patrol, and then they have like the civil police, which is more like detectives. So it's kind of a weird.
I'd be curious to see if they don't get like stipends for housing. And yeah, you won't get it in the form of pay, and you won't get to pick where you get to go. But I'm be curious if they see they get stipends for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, reduced housing.
But essentially, he
Yeah.
was saying like it's the pay is tied to the rank, not to the job. So because of
Very interesting.
their rank based on the policing that they do, they basically get that level of pay.
The type of policing you'd have to do in a place like that's going to be more like peacekeeping. And so I guess if I was like a Marine in Afghanistan, I probably had a better idea. They have laws that they're enforcing there as opposed to just martial law where you're just like, I'm here with a gun. You can't stop me. I'm just trying to keep the peace. They're actually probably dealing with like actual investigations of theft and stuff like that. But just the use of force and the type of show of force you have to have daily there's going to be very different. I think also culturally, because there's probably a pretty thriving subculture of organized gangs or at least organized crime, that's going to be a lot more complicated than it would be in a traditional American city where almost all organized crime's been pretty drastically reduced in the last couple decades. There is some, but it's not nearly as complicated as it is.
Yeah, it's not as prevalent as it used to be, for sure.
Yeah, well, and most of it's just they're not as smart, or they all got killed off by cartels who just want to exploit us as a market, as opposed to street beefs.
Yeah.
that things happen on an instant here.
Yeah. This section of it was disappointing, which is why we're not going to watch it, because it's just like, oh, they chase a motorcyclist and they don't catch him. And they basically show all of it here. That was interesting.
Around the 3 different favelas, but how
okay, so
was
we'll
it
skip forward to
truly dangerous cities in the world. And first we had to get approval from their head boss, who sent his captain and his tenant that runs this 18th battalion. So we got up, shook hands, met, and toured with the captain.
Yeah, everybody's stacked here, though. I love it.
They're all super jacked.
In just a sec.
This is where I was like, they're basically like full-time SWAT.
But for patrol.
Yeah, but for patrol, yeah, they've got like, those are flashbangs.
A condição combativa das outras pessoas. Então são granadas que fazem barulho e emitem luz.
They speak Portuguese there, right? In Brazil?
Yes.
E o local a gente chama
Yeah, so the second cameraman also speaks Portuguese and he's translating some of this.
Acabam aí
Oh, you put criminals in here?
Andre.
It's kind of metal.
That's how you do it.
That's where they should go.
No,
I love
open
that.
space. They go in the little box. They shove them in the box.
Oh, that's a small box, dude.
Yeah, that's where the. Wait. Oh, we
That's a
don't do it
filing
like that
cabinet.
anymore.
Decent amount of space.
Okay.
After they showed us around and were clear in our intentions,
That's
we
hilarious.
had one final test, and it was a pull-up competition.
All right, what do you guys think I'm gonna get? Let me know in the comments before you watch.
I'm gonna make y'all place your bets on this.
They're gonna give you the female test.
I know, because I've seen it. So
Oh, really? Lame.
it's more than I can do.
Okay, we'll do. There we go.
Are they real pull-ups?
They're not kipping. They're real pull-ups. Yeah. I was still impressed. Either way, I was like, damn, that's a decent amount.
There we go. Go with that. All right, y'all got like 30 seconds.
Go there. There we go. Mine's in.
He bet 7. Okay, how many do you think? How many do you think he's gonna do? 11. Okay.
11.
Okay. Let's go.
Oh. I'll let it get the votes in. Once it hits like 30 votes, I'll play it again.
I'll go. I can tell some people have seen this already. It's suddenly Bonsai up in here. Bro, R.I.P. to Bonsai, dude.
Hey, we got to get our gambling in somehow.
I know.
Can't do it with real
man.
money because I'm broke, so we gotta.
That's pretty great.
Gotta do it this way. Joe Blow, I like your style. He said, I listen to people I disagree with.
Yeah.
That's good. You should. It's how you keep your
That
skills
is how you
sharp
grow.
and learn new perspectives
grow.
and critically think about the world.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I got 6.
Like that, bro.
How many did you get? 20?
16.
16 as well. Oh, what? Okay, cool.
We gained the
Yeah, but he did it in
He
uniform.
could have done more.
Earlier, how I said that the tenant was supposed to come and meet us. Well,
He's good, though.
apparently
I like
here's
him.
why he couldn't.
That's good. And real ones.
While coming here, he got involved in a occurrence.
Yeah, so his lieutenant got involved in an occurrence.
Followed by death. Oh, wow.
All right, yeah.
Got involved in a what?
Cool, so I don't
An
look like a
occurrence
pussy in
which
front of the
involved
captain.
resistance and then
Okay.
death. So the
Cool.
lieutenant's fine.
So obviously, when a
suspect, not so
regular day
much.
in the offense could be life or death, we were starting to get a better idea of their realities. We still had no
Look at the little
idea what we
patrol
were getting
cars.
ourselves into.
Yeah.
I kinda love this little
Clearly, it
They're
wasn't
pretty
going to
slick
be
in
all
terms of design.
sunshine.
It is really
The
funny to see
little-
how much
little
they blur every single
crossover?
gun.
Yeah.
You say pause it?
No, I was just saying,
Oh,
like,
okay.
I think it's kind of cool they have these little crossover vehicles.
Oh, yeah. It does suck because they have to
Merch
write
is
like
officially out. Go to
four men in them.
shop.exploretheunfamiliar.com to get our logo, tees, and hoodies.
Dude, how nice
Our
that'd be,
limited
though. You get to
edition
roll
designs for
4
the
deep
up.
to every call.
Yeah.
So
Just be
finally,
nice looking
this
an
is Tenant
Explorer as
Mendoza.
opposed to like.
He's going to show us
Yeah, it would be
exactly
great.
what a day in the life of a military police looks like.
We are a special police with special police officers and special police cars.
It's all bulletproof, I'm guessing.
No,
So it's not bulletproof?
no, no bulletproof. Yeah.
So what happens if we get
They
shot
don't
at?
got the budget for that.
So heavy.
This is a Fuzil 5.56 caliber.
Like a shotgun, caliber 12.
We have another.
It's shaped like a penis. That's why they had to blur it
How
out.
often do you have
There
to
you
use
go.
that gun? Is it rare or quite often?
Rare, but we did use. This is a shotgun.
This is a shotgun?
Yeah.
Rare.
We use it.
It's rare. It's only like once a week.
You always like fear for your life whenever you go out in these
Yeah, we have fear because we are humans. No? This job is not a job really.
Right.
This is a vocation.
And so that was interesting, and remember that. Vocation, not a job, and you'll see that throughout the video. But anyways, it was time to start the day, and just like they do before every shift, they started with a group workout.
Crazy. Paid to work out on duty. Crazy.
No wonder they're all fit.
In our
Exactly.
unit, don't have fat guys.
Yeah, it's not like American cops.
Yeah?
A lot of American cops. Yeah.
American cops is
Yeah. Do you guys hit everything? You guys don't skip legs day or anything like that?
No, we don't skip like them.
Hey, oh, look at that.
To be fair,
We don't skip.
No skip.
Although, you're not going hard in the paint, though.
if they paid for cops to work out on duty, that would help subside some of that issue.
No, not all of it, because diet's a big.
No,
chunk
not all of it.
Yeah,
No.
and I think also actually having time to sleep.
Yeah.
I think it's probably hurting you way more than everything else. These people probably have very strict schedules for a lot of that stuff. Also, like I said, you're not going to do your personal best or your personal record right before you're getting on patrol.
Nope.
You need to keep yourself a little bit fresh to do all this nonsense. I do think it's smart too that they're doing it before they go out on patrol, as opposed to trying to get it in afterwards, because you just don't know what you're going to be stuck on.
Yep. Also, if you're doing it right and you're eating right, a workout before is going to give you some energy.
Even just being a little more warm.
Yeah.
Like getting into a sprint when you've been sitting for 4 hours versus
Sucks.
like you've at least gotten your legs warm earlier that day, even if it was a couple hours before. That's better than just from nothing. That's the worst. I'd rather work out off duty. Yes, but I think it makes sense to make this happen more often.
But also, like, off duty is with your if your schedule. It depends so much on your schedule at that point. Of like, can you and would it be better for you to just be asleep if you just got off like a 12-hour shift or something, 16-hour?
Like, how often are you going to have to skip that in lieu of sleep or in lieu of personal responsibility and all that other kind of stuff? Like, I can see where, especially when you're new, and you're just constantly getting this short, that I understand. You're working an 80-hour week, like, I don't care how motivated you are, but like senior guys, there's almost no excuse because they get off all the time, and they ain't ever getting volunteered for anything. But I work out chasing people. Yeah,
Bro,
that works till you blow something out, though.
Like, I just worked office jobs, but when I had a gym in the office building, I worked out all the time. And then the second I was out on my own, I'm like, I got dumbbells sitting right there. I haven't used them. Like,
but
I do have my treadmill though. Treadmill's
I'm not
great.
gonna lie, it's fucking hard so far. Just been like no rest, like going back and back at it. But the best thing about these sorts of environments when you're working around a bunch of people, you can't bitch out. So I feel like I'm pushing myself in like the right way.
Agreed.
All right, Andre, let's get it. Let's get it, Andre.
And after a nice pump, I was curious on where we were gonna go for a patrol.
This is our classroom. Here we do the theoretical instructions.
So what's today's mission looking like? Do we have any special missions that we're gonna do when we go out?
So we have Iraq.
So that's the favela we're going to today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Iraq.
We're going to Iraq.
Damasceno.
How many people live in each of these favelas?
Maybe here in Iraq it's not so much, maybe 5,000.
Okay.
But here is almost like a city. Damasceno, maybe
35,000.
35,000
Wow.
people.
So for those who don't know, Brazilian favelas are essentially slums, and it's where many of the drug activity and gang operations are run from in Brazil. And as you'll see, this unit specifically patrols some of the biggest slums in Sao Paulo to fight this sort of crime. So just like what happened yesterday with Tenant Mendoza, conflict can really happen at any time. And so it was important that they not only knew how to use their gun, but their fists.
And there's too many boxing matches as a
Boxing's hard, man.
Especially in Brazil, shouldn't it be all
We need
Brazilian
to
jiu-jitsu?
be ready for all the situations in the street, you know?
What's the
Like, we don't do that
big
here.
brain gang.
Usually end up on the ground.
That's a stereotype. We don't do that here.
Like
They do the butt-
jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu, I see. Yeah, we need to know how to immobilize
They just call it jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Right.
In our work, we don't have time.
Although,
Maybe
isn't
we have
jiu-jitsu
5 seconds
Japanese,
to make a
First
decision.
jiu-jitsu represent like a Portuguese word.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Somebody,
There may be a style from Japan.
yeah, tell somebody give us the origin of the word jiu-jitsu.
But I think in Brazil, MMA is like full MMA, like knowing jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai.
Jiu-jitsu is Japanese, so it's Japanese.
Russian.
Then got Brazilian jiu-jitsu is an offshoot. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was. It came from combat arms in from like samurai and shit.
Yeah,
like
and it was
they
used
learned
as like the basis of things like judo, aikido, sambo, and
almost
MMA
everything
and jiu-jitsu.
came from that. They were one of the very first people that. It was them, and then if you look at the Romans, they did like Greco-Roman like wrestling.
Yeah, it's because they were gay.
Well, exactly. Well, there's that, but they had some element of it.
Does it usually end up on the ground? Like, so jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu.
I see.
Yeah, we need to know how to
It can end up on the ground if you make it.
Fast. We don't have time.
Right, Keith?
In our work, we don't have time. Maybe we have 5 seconds to
Definitely
make a
shoot the leg.
decision.
That's a Kimura, yeah.
Most important
Way to do
here
it.
is all of our actions is based on training. Training. So all of
It's all automatic at this point, right?
Yeah.
Where's
Can we do a
Capoeira
one where I
from?
like
I thought
resist
that was from
arrest and then
Brazil,
they
too.
do it like it's a real life?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
I
I'm gonna
don't
try
know
and
about
resist.
I know it's somewhere
Okay.
south America.
No.
Because it's
Sir,
Brazil.
put your hand.
So this is the thing that we've been talking about wanting to do is like a video for our
Showcase how to
channel.
apprehend somebody legit.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy I feel like does not give it his all.
I tell you what
Away
though,
from me. Sir,
a guy that can do
scared.
16 pull-ups is in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
So
He
and
just,
he's
like-
not that much smaller than these guys are. But also, so this guy here on the guy on the right's like a decent size. The guy on the left's kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to get.
Yeah, but if you know these dudes are
Yes,
training like every day,
He's getting.
how hard are you going to resist?
And also
Yeah.
on 2-on-1, yeah.
Yeah, like the way he's holding his arms.
Get away
is
from
not-
me. Sir, put your hand away from me.
Straight to a guillotine. I think
Unmotivated. Put
Your arm. Give your arm. Your arm. Another arm. Another arm. Give your arm.
And I was starting to see exactly why they call it a vocation and not a job.
He went straight for the guillotine.
It was like,
No, we're not fighting.
How do you feel now?
Yeah.
These are Brazilian police. Yeah, we need
I
muscle.
tell you what, though, he'd have guillotined straight to the ground like that on pavement.
Yeah.
They'd have been handcuffing an unconscious person. Like, you'd
Probably.
have taken it straight in the dome to the pavement. In the States, if you went hands on and
Like
somehow. They call it decentralizing for a reason, but that's decapitating, damn it. If that wasn't like a cushioned floor. That poor guy.
That's why we were taught to clinch first,
Yeah.
not something like a guillotine.
It was, but effective. It was
I mean,
effective.
VNR is also effective.
Agreed. We can't also do that either. You're right. I'm done with that.
How did I rank like out of all the people that you've arrested? Was that a difficult challenge or too easy?
Medium.
Medium, okay. No, he said it was very light. Yeah, he said
You're like a middle schooler.
Medium.
No resistance.
It's crazy how they haven't even started their day out. I'm already like toast. This is like my workout for like the day.
Look at that.
Desejo realizado.
Okay. It's like we're eating mouse. And from working out to having lunch, they spend a lot of time together, so no surprise that they have nicknames for each other.
They all have nicknames.
Oh, okay.
Big Mouse, Big Mouse.
Big Mouse, Big Peter,
Big Peter?
Monkey.
His nickname's Monkey?
Super skinny.
Super skinny. And even I got a new nickname.
And I'm chicken. Yeah.
And so it's all
Nice.
shits and giggles now, which almost made me forget how deadly these dudes are and the job that they do every day. Like, this was one of the jobs that Tenan Mendoza dealt with just a few months ago. Another fellow American from Texas was kidnapped and held hostage by gang members for 15 hours at gunpoint. Tenan Mendoza and the unit found him tied up in a white van in one of the favelas that we will be going to, but as you can see, things didn't end up so well for the gang members. Is that you?
Yeah, an American guy is on the left. The guy runs for us and we pursued him.
Wow.
He was
My
apprehended.
nerves are what? Am I not going to accept the
Correctly.
post-meal sig? But it also gave me time to get to know the other members of the unit and their experiences just before we were about to head out. Did you guys always want
Big Johnson.
police? Like since you were like a kid, or?
Yeah, we're born into this job.
So you think not everyone can become a cop?
The thing most important is the vocation.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Everybody says it's a vocation, not like a job. It's a
I
vocation.
kind of like their little like sleeve cuff thing.
I see. Do you have to be kind of crazy
Kinda metal.
to do this job? Totally. You think so too?
Like this one on the left side here?
Yeah, no, it's on the right.
What do you
arms.
think is the
Oh, yeah, sorry.
hardest
Well,
part
left
about
side.
have like
your
a-
job besides obviously
right
like the
arm.
danger aspect about
I
it?
feel or something.
Stage left.
Family things.
Family, worrying about family.
Someone you arrest, some guy you kill, and the partner see you in the streets and you recognize. It's dangerous.
So like, does it impact your personal life?
Sometimes it's hard, but here we are a family.
And so even with all the sacrifices and the fact that you have to be a crazy motherfucker to do this, I was starting to better understand why exactly they call it a vocation and not a job. So it was time to get strapped. You know, in America,
Isn't battery dog? Come on now.
This as soon as we turn 18.
Birthday gift.
It's like welcome to America, welcome to adulthood.
You live in Texas, no?
Like in Texas, if you wanted to buy a gun, it could take like 1 hour. Very easy. No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
It's a gift for you. I'm joking.
And so it was
Give him a
time.
machine
But
gun.
before we left, there was one last thing to keep in mind for good luck. Okay, so we're about to ride out. And before we ride out, we have to write. What do we have to yell? What do we have to yell out? Patchko. Patchko. It's for like good vibes. Okay. So. Let's go!
It's like warming the tires or what?
That must be.
Nice, nice.
Nice
Like NASCAR style warming the tires.
So I thought they were doing this because they wanted to feed us some fire content, but turns out they actually do this to warm up the tires and suspension
Well, they
because,
got-
as
they
you'll
got-
see later on, you for sure
get
need the
after
car
it.
to be able to do its thing.
Pause real quick.
Where?
You don't have to warm up the suspension on a car. That's how suspension works. You're just slowly ruining the ball joints on your poor little Chevy SUV.
You got to add the fluid to the headlights before you get out.
Yes, exactly.
All that stuff.
Where are we going first?
We are going first.
Unless maybe they have gas shocks, but even then,
Oh, I think
don't
about
think it
gas
would
shocks. I
matter.
can't imagine they would run gas shocks out there, though.
I mean, by the looks of those streets, it might
Those
be
look-
worth it. But
Yeah, right. There's pothole hell over there.
yeah,
It's also very.
that would be
heavy.
the only thing I could think of for a suspension. Because like, if it's just normal shocks and struts,
Yeah, you're just
don't need
slowly
to do
ruining
that.
them.
Yeah.
Rocky.
Okay, so the first step is Araki. This is where they start their patrol.
É, não tem, né? Por isso que tá quebrado.
Doesn't this feel like a Call of Duty mission? It feels like a Call of Duty cutscene. I swear there was actually like a Call of Duty mission. So what kind of signs are you looking for as you're patrolling?
Some drug dealers, people with guns, people cheating. We are going to favela now.
Okay. Yeah, I could not believe it, but here we were, patrolling the streets of the most murderous country in the world, and soon enough, I could see exactly why.
I just let him go? They just let him go?
Gun drawn already.
He was running after that guy on the bike.
So the guy was armed, like the guy.
Oh, he was?
They saw him reaching towards his.
Are you
his
serious?
belt, Yes.
Make him up.
Holy But ultimately they ended up bailing because he was on his motorcycle. Obviously the streets in the favelas are super narrow, as you'll see. So at any moment anything can happen. Surrounding the perimeter, so he's not going to get ambushed as he's filling it up. Okay, we're going to be getting out right now.
Clear. All clear. It's
funny.
part of our job.
We used to do this at the regular. We had like a little gas pump that we went to that was just for city vehicles.
Yep.
And yeah, I can get out of my car. and do one of these. They have like a shitty chain link fence around it, so it's like, yeah, a pretty obvious place to go and take a pot shot at a cop.
Yep.
Favela's nobody's favorite Call of Duty level. You stop. That's nobody's. That's a lie. Real John Nolan wouldn't feel that way.
Nope. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead.
That thing's super long.
Yeah, it's super long. So I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead to the where they do like sort of the search of the favela, which is pretty much
Hands behind their back.
Right now they're interrogating some of the suspects, probably like stolen motorcycle or something like this. And what we notice is that they talk to them a bit rude.
Yeah, they get like all in their faces. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
intimidating. I think it's more like to intimidate them, because if you're actually talking to a gangster and you talk soft with them, they don't give a shit. They won't respect you. So in a way, they end up talking like this to everyone because they don't know who is not a criminal or who it is. So
in a way, maybe they'll respond better too if you are intimidating.
Exactly.
Right? So
they were saying that they were riding motorcycles without license plate.
Oh, I see.
So it could be a stolen motorcycle, but they checked and it seems to be okay. Like it's not a stolen motorcycle.
So after checking on the suspects and it seems like they were all good, we got deeper into the favela and you started to see a different reaction by the locals.
The streets has got to be just a nightmare.
Yo, this is like straight out of a movie scene, I swear to God.
Hit him.
I'm still not really sure what they were chasing
So
them
our
for.
tenant is gonna conduct the motorcycle to
This
the
one's
unit.
supposedly stolen. Until he gets to drive it back.
Kind of gangster.
So out of nowhere, he just started flashing the lights. So, yo, hey, yo. So I think now's a good moment to explain that Brazil actually has 3 types of police. The military police, which we've been touring around with. And if you subscribe to the channel, you'll see a part 2 soon of our day with the civil and scientific police, who are like the detectives and crime scene investigators of police in Brazil. And the station that we just arrived at is the civil police station, and it's now up to them to handle and process the arrest of this guy.
Must be nice.
Yeah, and they're about to process the
Bro.
Yeah, correct. Police Civil is gonna investigate.
If all we had to do was go apprehend people,
Judicial process. So all the
That's
documents
mafia
of the
cop.
civil police will go to court to be analyzed, and also their deposition, they're gonna be heard in the civil police right now. And if the judge thinks they did the right thing by arresting this guy, they're gonna convert this prison into a preventive arrest, and this guy's gonna be in jail until his process and justice finishes. Wow. Yeah, that's correct.
So
that's
no bail
correct.
system.
Oh, you know, he used to be a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah,
He's a lawyer.
yeah. I was a lawyer.
so no bail.
Yeah, not anymore.
No, it's just
Period?
the judge arraigns you, and if he says, hey, this seems like there was a good arrest, you get to sit here till...
Mega based.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Every day, like today.
This is just a regular Sunday.
I'd be
huh?
curious how long their like
But you said that
justice
there's no-
process takes.
Around like 1,200.
Probably pretty fast.
Okay, here's where he talks about how much they make.
6,000.
A high, 46,000 heist is around like $1,200. Wow.
Because the payment is about the military rank. It's not about the job.
Because after we've seen the danger and not to mention the low
but they're
pay,
probably
this
actually
job
enlisted
or
people then.
vocation is definitely not for anyone. So while they were finishing processing the arrest, it made me think back to the conversation
Yeah,
that
so
we
this is why I
had
think
with
it's
the
just
captain
interesting
before
to
the
see the
patrol,
differences in
because
the
it's
type of
starting to make a lot.
policing that
I think it's interesting that
internationally.
they bifurcate a lot of the violence to military personnel, and then I'm assuming there's still some level of force that the science police, I guess you want to call
they
them
have
that.
the civil police and then the science police, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
crazy.
you only get one cop that's got to do all that in America. He's your social worker / crime scene investigator / go threaten somebody with a rifle kind of guy. Sarah, what's going on? Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think a lot of I think it's smart in some instances. I mean, obviously we kick SWAT to a specialized unit, we kick gangs and vice. That's all they kind of concentrate on. But ultimately, that's still comprised of police officers. Those are ultimately P1s up to P3s, depending, which is lieutenants, in most of those units. So that's interesting that they just straight up. We can't do that here in America because if it's posse comitatus, I think is the Latin phrase for it. But basically, you cannot allow for military personnel to do law enforcement anything. They can't use force on the civilian population, period. It's specifically codified in the Constitution that they can't do that. So if you want a government representative to be able to use force on your behalf as the state, both the states have to get them themselves through state troopers and things of that nature. What's it called? Counties, and then municipalities will also do the same thing. But you are paid by and authorized by the municipalities that you represent, which is kind of better because theoretically, like, those municipalities should be representative of the government they want. You're the taxpayer paying for that service, so those guys work for you, versus like a decentralized thing. You can look at like the CIA and the FBI, where that's purely federally funded and they just kind of go and have their own objectives when they're wanting to do stuff. They do stuff like Ruby Rich or whatever, where it's like it's just it's more complicated. You're not from that area. These people don't pay you, so there's no real accountability you can have outside of maybe complaining to the federal government and saying, hey, I want to leverage a complaint. You really can't do that in those instances. So
Direct
it's probably...
accountability is a lot more difficult.
Yep.
There is the counter side of that, though, is that what you end up getting, though, is every municipality has wildly different levels of quality control. And so there's like that's sort of your counter argument to that, where if everybody's going to the same police academy, everybody gets the same training.
I think the flip side too is going to be application of the law is wildly different. You could look at states, right, and you could do this almost on political lines by themselves, not to mention cultural ones, where certain laws are enforced or the laws are very different from one state to another. So if you're someone that travels a lot, it's hard to keep up with what's legal and what's not legal. In some states, it could be nothing. In other states, it's a felony, like sending you to prison for the rest of your life. Kind of the other issue, too, is going to be funding. It's a lot of times why county police is almost always the best case scenario for funding for a police department or for a policing agency, because they're the biggest possible body that you can have with the most amount of accountability by its constituency. Once you get bigger than that, it's just so much ground for you to cover. And then, like, yes, you're pulling in resources from the state, so you have a state amount of it, which is cool, but you're going to be very unfamiliar, and there's almost no recourse the taxpayer has when it's a state trooper doing something to you versus a county guy versus a municipal police officer. Municipal is almost the worst case, especially for smaller cities, for resources, because if you're 5,000 people, you can't charge them all $10 a pop. And even if you did, that's next to no money to run a police department.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
That's also going to vary wildly by state, because like state of Texas versus like the state of Maine, in terms of
pretty different.
size, population, like you could probably do it in the state of Maine.
Yes.
Like you'd probably be accounted because he's probably your neighbor, but
yeah,
like you could go screw up his trees or something.
Periscope. Oh, we have Sid Davis. Oh,
this is starting rough.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know where
Accident investigation.
Control testing 2H32, 2H32, possible injury collision. Your code is 3, Raymond and Bella, test only.
2H32, 10-4.
Duty.
How good that radio traffic was.
Is she conscious or?
You got here quick.
First job on an accident assignment is to
Goldstein.
see that it doesn't get worse.
Yes.
Park your car so
Block
it
traffic.
can serve as a shield a good 50 feet in back of the accident location.
She cut very bad or? No,
His
Next
hats
priority
kill
is
me.
first aid for the injured.
I don't know.
A person with injuries that might be made worse through movement should be left where he is if in a safe place till the ambulance gets there. Never put them in the police car shielding the accident. Call in for medical help if it's not already on the way.
2H32. 2H32, would you roll an ambulance and traffic assistance?
Radio traffic. This is the best radio traffic I've seen in a minute.
In laying out flares,
They used to know how to
watch
do it
out
back in
for
the day.
spilled gasoline and make sure people are careful with cigarettes.
Watch
too.
out for spilled gasoline.
Besides making the accident scene safe,
I hadn't even thought
you've
about
got
that.
to get to the witnesses before they fade away.
Bro.
Some departments prefer to get the stories of bystanders before those of the people directly involved in the accident. Move them to where they were standing when the accident occurred.
I did too many of these.
And a way to hang on to witnesses is to get their driver's licenses or other ID.
Mr. Olson. Okay, I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay.
Witnesses who are not involved in the accident are usually considered the most reliable.
They have no bias. They have no dog in the fight. Or you hope they don't.
When you approach them, it's wise not to mention the word witness,
Did any of you people see anything?
Well, yeah.
since that may put them on guard against the idea of having to go to court.
Yep.
The gray car will come, so therefore they intercept.
Which way was the gray car going?
The gray car was going straight, so he was trying to avoid hitting the black car.
Okay. And what color was the light?
The light was yellow. The black car was turning left on the yellow.
Oh, what a great witness.
So they intersect. My name is Louise Jernigan.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just ask them what they saw and let them talk without interruption, saving your questions till the end.
Can you tell me what you saw, Mr. Olson?
Yes, the light was green for east and west traffic, and the black car was going east and turned left almost directly in front of the gray car. I don't think either driver had a chance to even get the brakes on. Skid marks in the street.
Did you see the color of the traffic light?
Light was green for both cars.
When stories conflict, just put
Sounds
it
like
down.
failure
when
to
you hear
yield.
it.
Yeah.
Mr. Harris, did you see the color of the traffic light?
It was green.
It was green for both of you. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I'll be with you in just a moment.
Primary interrogation, of course, is with the drivers and passengers involved, if they're able to talk.
Did you send for an ambulance already? I mean, you know, I mean,
Ambulance.
Ambulance.
Amber lamps.
You called an ambulance. They're on their way. Here's my driver's license. You turn
He
right.
must
I
be
didn't
from
turn right,
Mississippi.
Man, I know what I did. I came right through the light.
Separate them.
Okay, hold it down.
Hard to do by yourself, but yes.
My wife is hurt.
Yeah, the
You
ambulance
say
is on the
you wait
way.
here.
Yeah, you heard her, dummy. Turn left
Oh, look
into
at that.
oncoming
It's
traffic.
usually important to keep them apart in the initial interview.
Idiot.
Look
So
at
you
that.
get
One
one
can
story
teach
at a time
policing.
instead of an argument. If a driver can't come up with his license or other
Or you can
ID,
do the Southland thing and be like, all right,
the
you get one
officer
free
should put
swing.
in an immediate call for a wanted check and maintain control.
I don't know what happened, man. I was coming through the light. I was into the left turn, and all of a sudden this
Yeah,
guy
you're
comes
guilty.
out of- He must have been
You
driving
got them
fast.
At the
Ray
same
Charles
time,
glasses.
If
Failure
the
to
dust
He
is
must have been
reasonably
driving
clear,
too
you can
fast.
be looking for signs of drinking, drug influence, or maybe the effects of head injury or shock.
Green. It was green. It was green. It was
But
green.
with the shock of the accident, a driver can
Yeah,
be
but if you're
just
turning left
plain
in front of
upset.
oncoming
Sure, I
traffic,
thought
you
the
have
It was way back
the
there. That's why I tell you, it was
responsibility
coming
to
too fast
yield.
Because he had to be coming
How
too
far
fast.
back?
Halfway in there.
Smart
I don't
guy.
know how far back, man. I don't know how far back.
Well, just relax.
Oh, ambulance.
All right.
But not for me.
But not for me.
It's usually best to let the driver tell his story without interruption. No discrepancies for future reference.
No, I was just coming this direction west on Villa Street here, and I saw the car
Shout
coming,
out to
but
the
he wasn't
orientation
giving a
and
signal or
everybody. No,
anything,
this is
and all
west
of a sudden
and
when
that's
I was
east
just
and this
about
is
to
south.
go the edge here, well, he just made a left turn right in front of me, and we ran into each other.
Where would you say you were when he started his turn?
When he started, I
Yeah,
was
in relation to the intersection.
just entering the intersection there.
The other guy's at fault for failure to yield.
Yep.
And what color was
They're
the
right.
traffic light?
100%.
Unless the car driver has arranged to have his vehicle pulled out of the way and protected, it's up to the investigating officer to have it towed away.
I have to get it towed out of the intersection. Do you belong to the auto club or anything?
No.
Do you have
The
any
auto
permits
club.
for tow
It's probably
service?
like AAA.
AAA, yeah.
Swedish Moose, what's going on,
I'll be
homie?
back with you in just a moment if
Good
you'll wait
morning,
right here.
everyone.
If the driver is hospitalized or arrested,
Sweden is so far.
or when the disabled car is a traffic hazard, stolen, or
All that
misused in
radio
a crime,
traffic, no response.
you can impound it.
Your wife, Sarge?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Judy.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you tell me
Well,
what
you already lied about the traffic, so maybe lying about her too.
Here's the ambulance. Dude, I did too many of these.
So that is a ambulance.
Sounds like the kind you have to wind up.
It does.
If there are serious injuries or fatalities, photographs of the accident scene will be taken.
Everyone's asking where fire is.
Everything significant should
Scene
be
isn't secure,
photographed
I
to
told
provide
y'all.
evidence on both
Where
cause
is
and
fire?
effect of the
No, they
accident.
only did fires back then.
Yeah.
Shout out to his camera. I like his little,
A little Nikon or something?
yeah, his SLR. They didn't have the D back then. Hadn't been invented yet.
You put the D in SLR?
Photography
That's right.
cannot give
Put the
you the
D in
measurations
DSLR yourself back then.
to sketch for.
Oh, my
Digital
boy.
stood for your
Here's a
finger.
measure wheel.
Did you ever use one of these, Keith?
I did.
I wouldn't even know where to find one.
Standard lane width is 10 feet.
Skid marks, of course, are valuable indicators of accident causes, including the direction of travel and the minimum speeds of the vehicles involved.
Good ass report.
I feel like I'm back in the academy.
Bro, he's drawing a diagram. Let's go.
You think he's
Did
gonna
you-
draw like a little dog on the?
Remember making
corner?
those in the auto,
Yes.
I saw
stupid-
a dog.
what was
Yes,
the
I
software?
did.
One
that
special
software?
note that's
One.
often important is the timing of a traffic
remember.
signal as to whether or not it's functioning
Damn, I can't remember what that software was called.
AutoCAD.
No, it was
No.
the separate one for accidents.
Yeah, it was its own.
Remember that you're responsible
what was
for
that
protecting
called?
personal property on the scene, and that
I
includes
used the hell
using
out of
stolen car accessories,
Yeah, you and me
hubcaps,
both.
tools,
I
etc.
used to have to draw little demos
So
of
get an
everything.
inventory signed by whoever does the towing.
Did y'all ever use a nomograph
The hell
The
is
hell's that?
for your accident construction?
No.
Everything
had
was
like a little
electronic
digital-
for us.
They had a
Alright.
digital thing.
We're gonna break things out. I'm gonna have to show y'all how we did it before your fancy computers.
When it's all wrapped up, you
I mean,
should
I
have
think
all the
I'm
materials
watching
for
it
a
right
really
here.
comprehensive report on what
Oh
happened.
no, he doesn't have it out yet.
Full
Wait till he starts
information
doing
on
the
vehicles involved, and the
actual
road,
creation.
weather, and lighting conditions.
I did 2 paper accident
Stories
reports.
as told
in
by
my
the
library.
accident drivers.
I think I
Our
did
system
one,
went down.
maybe.
That was such a pain in the ass. One was a DWI too.
Anybody here
That
see what
sucked.
happened?
Oh, I did.
Yes, ma'am. Can you tell me what?
Yeah, the black car was making a
Snitch.
left turn.
And eyewitnesses. It should all add up to every scrap
This was a
of
good
useful
video,
information
actually.
on
This
who,
is still
what,
mostly
where,
applicable today.
when, and the data to figure out why. When it goes into your
Except that
accident
guy
report,
killed his
that
wife.
information can serve
Yeah,
a
well,
lot
there
of
was that.
important purposes. It's worth getting it all down.
Chalk outline.
The 3 Days Grace song.
Oh, that is. They had the short flares. We got spoiled. We had those like 25-minute flares. Those were pretty good. It was like 35-minute. They were
And
enormous.
then we had the stupid electronic discs.
I almost lost mine. I remember when we had to give back our equipment. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, where is that even?"
I
And
put mine in
finally-
my closet, and it never left.
Yep. They probably had the original charge from when I was issued them.
I don't think I ever opened the box.
Yeah, I had to check
Okay,
to make sure they
let's
were
go.
in there. It was the one time I watched it.
Go.
What is this?
I forget if we've seen this one, but
Police officer
Still nice.
pulled over this dog and read them their Miranda rights.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak with me? No.
Good
Okay.
dog.
I won't ask you any more questions.
Good
This
dog.
officer pulled
That's right.
Top
Besides your
tier
Fifth Amendment rights, dog.
suspecting, dude. He literally said dog.
Let's watch these guys get pepper sprayed.
Spray.
OC Day is the worst.
5 burpees. 5 burpees. 5 burpees. 2. Read the license plate.
You need a kick. 4.
Open your eyes. Good strikes. Good strikes. Good strikes.
I'm gonna do something very similar. Yeah, OC's a great day.
You have to tourniquet him too?
No. This is very involved. That doesn't help.
Nope. Placebo effect.
1, 2.
Take a picture.
Hold it.
You
That
can't
is-
leave until everybody's eyes are open.
That is the worst day of academy. Easily. The worst day of academy. But the OC exposure was cancer. It's the equivalent of taking the hottest pepper you know, like chemically engineering it to be 10 times hotter, and then making sure it gets in your eyes. It's the worst. Yeah. And we had the foam one. They just had the liquid one. The foam one was fucking cancer. It was gel, actually. So it just stuck to everything. Got it in my mouth, and not a good time.
Nice.
Why do we have? Why is this loser here?
Because it was put in our Discord. So we can ban whoever posted it, but
Who posted this?
we'll watch. I
Out
think it was Steel
yourself.
Switch.
Yeah.
Out yourself. Give them a permaban.
Call him out. I'm looking it up right now.
We'll play it.
Steel Switch.
Ah,
Called out.
permaban.
Called out.
We'll have a chat with him
Right here.
later.
We're about to learn why police officers always hold their vests from a guy that was barely.
Oh, yeah.
Or
That's right.
before we even start that,
Yeah.
there is not a single self-respecting officer, and I'm sorry if Guardian ends up seeing this, that wears one of these things on their shoulder. Not a one. You will never be code 3 while you're running, and this does not help signify that you're a police officer. Like, in no universe do I ever... Anyways, we'll keep going.
Mm-hmm. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this came out while he was still in academy. That he was all dressed up like this.
Are you always holding your vest? Good question. A lot of times you'll see police officers on the street like this, or in this position, or in this position.
Never that one.
And honestly, it's really comfortable. It also feels a lot better than just placing your hands to the side. But for real, I hold my vest like this because it's comfortable. Why are you always...
That was it.
So this is most of that's only going to apply to outer carriers, though I do believe it is probably a bit more comfortable. You would never try to do that if you were on a call. We were actually disciplined for doing that if we were on scene. I got smoked by a FTO doing that once, and I never did it again. This is the only one I really could do, was like the one inside. Yeah. But typically, so because I had an inner vest, I didn't have a weight-bearing vest, all of my equipment was on my belt. I actually spent more time resting my arms on my belt than I did anything. But mostly, and he's not doing a very good job of it here, when I was inside of like stores or when I couldn't help but be surrounded by people, I would actually put my elbow over my gun. So that if someone did try to reach for it, they'd hit my arm first, or it'd also get like an early. You could not reach the pistol grip portion of my gun to try to get it out without hitting my arm. So I would know that I needed to be doing some sort of retention remediation. That's the only like specific posture that I might do. So like my right hand was almost never not somewhere near my duty belt.
He's not doing a good job of it because he's a fucking loser.
There's that. There's that. The only other issue I have with a lot of what's on his like it's not really a uniform. This is a costume in this instance. He's a he's
LARPing
cosplay.
cosplay. Yes. Continue.
I don't like hanging handcuffs, mostly because they make a shitload of noise.
Yep.
A shitload of noise. They can also be very easily ripped off your belt, even on accident. Right? You go over a fence, and your waist is gonna. Now you don't have handcuffs, right? Kind of the same thing with just a lot of like non-captured pistol mags. Kind of the same issue that you'll run into. That if you end up sliding or having to go buy something or whatever, you end up dumping that gear. We used to laugh. Almost everyone goes through this in academy. The first time they make you wear everything, and they make you put on flashlights, pens, spare magazines, all that stuff. The first time you run, like you end up dumping everything all over the place. You start learning how important it is to actually stage your equipment in a way that you can retain it.
It doesn't matter when you're playing dress up.
This is a costume, though. Also, having a knife that's that accessible from the front of your uniform is terrible.
About to bring that up.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
terrible.
see it.
Idea. Terrible fucking idea. The only other caveat I will say is I can appreciate a clean uniform. And I understand that uniform code's going to abide by that, but I had very little respect for officers that didn't have at least like kind of fucked up magazines and kind of fucked up pouches, because that means that they were getting used. This thing's just left the like plastic seal wrapper, but that's what happens when you're in academy. You're not actually doing police work. Anyways, I'm done roasting this clown.
For now.
For now.
We already did this one. All right, I think because Bill's falling asleep, we'll do one more, and then we will.
Give you guys some after party time.
Here, we'll do old
if
school.
If Bro's here,
Tampa
I'm gonna do
police
some
recruitment video.
Oh
from
shit!
The olden days. It's 51.
Look at that highway,
bro.
Well, I try to be a positive role model, especially for the children in the communities that I grew up in.
When was this, in the 90s?
It makes me feel
I
good
think
to
so.
help people who can't help
right?
I remember May 2012.
I love working
really?
in a
With this
fast-paced,
quality?
exciting job where I feel like I'm making a difference in a
This one
place
was posted to
that I call
YouTube by
home.
Tampa PD here.
Being a police officer is really more than a job. It's a career with so many opportunities to advance.
Scripts to make you guys read. That become the badge edit was so fast. I could like barely. I like just barely.
Why do they have a .net website?
The .com era.
Too
I'm
cheap to
guessing.
get a .com. Oh, what the hell is that?
No, it should be .gov.
Oh, it should be a
City.
.gov.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a city government.
Weird. Maybe they hadn't developed that SOP
Yeah, I
yet.
wonder if they just didn't know how to do that back then yet.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Municipality. That would make actually a lot of sense. Step Bro, we're gonna do some SCP stuff.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you.
Dylan, where's your
If you can
assessment?
trust yourself when all
Yeah, I don't
doubt
see
you,
his
Johnny
assessment.
and
douchebag.
allow us for their doubting too.
Come on, let's just agree to differ.
If you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated. Don't give way to hating. But try to see things through the other eyes. If you believe that all men should be brothers, regardless of their color, style, or race, if you've risked your life to save another's, then have your courage flung back in your face. If you accept the chances roughly zero of getting any thanks for what you've done, what does it make you? Madman, saint, or hero? Or just another policeman, my son?
Oh, this copper hat is. Oh.
Metropolitan Police.
We would like to recruit people of ethnic minorities. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was a British recruitment ad from the 1970s.
It ain't that big of a difference from what we got today.
Yeah, I did like that they were a lot more. They weren't like Hey, the job's great.
They didn't
Look at us
sugarcoat
kicking
it.
in
They were like,
doors.
"Bro,
Look at us
this
doing all
sucks."
this stuff. Look at us riding in helicopters and paratrooping.
Yeah, I will say, I think they should showcase it more as the vocation that it is, and it's like you just have to want to be motivated to want to affect change. It's a very unpleasant job most of the time. But
Mike thinks I coach travel baseball. Give me a break, bro.
travel.
I hate kids.
Bill has patience for a lot of, like, truly, actually, a very patient person, except for with people in general, like across the board. This guy can watch paint dry, legitimately.
Dumb. I don't have patience for dumb people.
But
I'll
it's
give
like,
you empathy and sympathy and compassion, but if you're dumb, I ain't got it, son.
the last time Bill and I had just left, this is a quick story time and I'll let you guys go. Bill and I had just left policing. It had been like 3 or 4 weeks of us not being on patrol, and we went fishing.
Yeah.
And how long? It was like 10 hours. We were out there for
We
hot
got out
minute.
there at 4:30 or 5.
Yeah.
And I bet we didn't get back to your house till 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We only left because we got so hot.
It was too hot, yeah, because it was in the middle of the summer. And we didn't catch a damn thing. I caught a tiny little, like, baby. What was
Caught
it,
a bait
like
fish.
I caught basically a
That
bait
was
fish.
caught.
Right?
And we were river fishing. Like, we should have caught some shit.
Oh, yeah, dude. I had to hike in and hike out.
Yeah.
And
Great
not a single
spot, though.
not a single complaint outside of it's hot.
And
Which I
even
had.
then.
Yeah. Yeah. But make this man have to listen to some bullshit? Oh, it's like it's so funny. It'll start happening. The last DWI we worked, we weren't even out of the
lady with the
patrol
Jeep.
car. And he looked at me and he says, "I'm going to interview the witnesses." And I was like, okay. He didn't even, it wasn't a discussion.
The lady with the Jeep that we arrested in front of her kids. Well, you arrested in front of her kids.
Yes, I was the tyrant that day. And
I just got
arrested
yelled
her.
at to put my mask on outside because we were scared of oxygen, I guess.
It was such a good time. I still, that look, I haven't gotten it in a long time.
Oxygen is dangerous. It lights on fire.
Haven't needed to.
I have that look seared into my memory, and it's like worse than disappointing your dad. It's so funny. Anyways, I will be hanging out with you guys at the after party. I have to pee because this Topo Chico just went right through me. But
where I went.
For anybody else
If
that
I
would
wasn't
like to
running the
go,
stream, I would have disappeared for like 10 minutes. I'm having a Josh situation.
I had to let my dogs out, and I was like, you know what? Prime opportunity.
So, anyways,
Making
for
the
those of you that are
real
interested in hanging out with us, we do have a Discord. That Discord can be reached one of two ways. That is either through the Patreon group, which is requires you to leave this application and go do a bunch of other stuff, or you can become a member right here on YouTube. And both of those will give you direct access to our Discord. If you have a hard time getting access to that, just DM us.
What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I blame Keith.
I was tearing a piece of paper.
Oh, they're just munching on chips.
Yeah, sure.
We
Stole
do.
that third bag of chips that Juan brought over on Sunday, didn't you?
Dude, I need that brand again, man. That was
Oh,
pretty
yeah, I'll
good
text
stuff.
it to you.
Yeah,
Actually,
there you
I'll
go.
drop it in the chat because everybody needs to know.
There you
They're
go.
called
Delicious.
Rancheritos, and they are delicious.
Yeah,
They
And my
are
favorite bag of
delicious.
chips.
If you guys have any interest in participating in that, we do after parties, we do movie nights. We used to do bonsai nights. I miss those. I need to replace that with something. And then sometimes we just hang out. I see a lot of people. There's a pretty awesome subset of people that are now participating in that broader conversation, which is really, really cool. And then we also have merch that are available. Producer Juan went through and diligently made some pretty cheeky merch for us. If you guys would either like it for yourselves or for your fellow police officers that you would
Can't
just like
wait
to
for
go
the
with right
Karen
there.
custody shirt.
Dude, Karen
Yeah,
custody
Karen
is
custody.
going to be pretty top notch. But anyways, if you guys want to do that, you guys can do that. That should be pretty straightforward. My brain hesitated there for a second.
3 off.
And then we will also be live every Tuesday and Thursday. If you're new to these streams, we do it every single time at 7:30 Central-ish Standard Time. The end of the month might get a little complicated, but we will figure something out for you guys. We did film The Rookie SWAT and Southland, full episodes, full hour-long plus episodes for you guys. So those will be coming back.
Almost 90 minutes long.
Yeah. So those will be coming back to y'all once Juan comes back to us. So he will be leaving us here later this week.
That's right. I got a
and
wedding
then coming
reception
back.
that I got to do for myself.
So either way, you guys can reach out to us, come become part of the community, and thank you to the 12.8 thousand subscribers that we have accrued this whole time. You guys make this stuff really, really awesome for us and for everybody else. I will see you guys in the after party. Thank you for riding like 5-man with us tonight. Until Thursday. The peace. I got all the donuts. I'm here for the donuts.
We know. There's a picture.